welcome in one and all. Welcome back to some more ASCENT, some fun Overwatch games. I am Opara and joined with me is Papadaka. We are your casters for tonight and we are going to be casting some incredible games for our ASCENT Season 5 Week 2. This has been presented by AOEsports and streamed by Koalas Esports.
Yes, hello everybody, I'm Papadaka, and what is ASCENT if you've never really heard of it and just jumped in on stream? This is a fun competitive tournament with a prize pool of $1,100 to be split across all the divisions. It's a 5-week tournament followed by 2 weeks of finals if you get up there. For each div, and then with everybody split into high or lower bracket divs after the seeding tournaments. It's a massive tournament with 40 plus teams. We're into our 5th season and we're funded by our wonderful patrons. Thank you so much. Because of you, we're able to run such amazing tournaments like this one. If you want to help fund more tournaments like this, consider heading over to our Patreon at patreon.com/AOEsports. If this has piqued your interest, don't hesitate just to join our Discord or our website. Have a look around there with all the info. That is below the stream. But anyway, Apara, some games tonight. We have our first match is No Snakes Given versus SGU Semantics at Div 4, and then wrapping up tonight at about 8:30, we've got CatnOwl Fanclub versus Blood Orange Div 3.
Absolutely, these are going to be some very exciting games, some pretty high quality games. Div 4 and Div 3 is going to be a lot of fun to watch, but let's run through our first team for the night. No Snakes Given. No Snakes Given, managed by Acorn, and their captain is Sudden Knight. They have a tank line of Might Guy and Sudden Knight, so their captain running that tank is off tank to be specific, whilst Might Guy is their main tank. Marnie is running their hit scan DPS, and Legacy is on the flex DPS. Finally, Cool Tank coming up on the backline with some main support, and Acorn Fan 328 on the flex support. This team, they've been together for about 3 years. It's half of the No Ducks Given roster just being split so that more people can play, which is always good when you've got lots of people wanting to join.
They've got 12 players, Apara. It's hilarious. They can scrim themselves. It's amazing.
That is actually incredible to see.
Right?
It's also, they've got the oldest team in AOEL, which is sort of the wee sister tournament that gets run alongside ASCENT. So No Ducks Given, been around for quite a while.
They have indeed, and very strong opponents coming up. They're at the top of their div at the moment. SGU Semantics, managed by Escape, captained by Raiden, and coached by, would that be Quadruple J, or would you say JJJJJ? Anyway, the tanks for tonight, Raiden on the main tank, Escape on the off tank. The DPS will be Snee and Braindead. I apologize. Raiden's favorite character is Reinhardt. Escapes is the Ball. And then Sneeze, McCree, and Genji will be played by Braindead. Highly likely, at least, or that's what they like to play. Kawaii or Baby, as you will see them on the stream, they'll be known as Baby, but they're Kawaii here, and she loves the Lucio. And last but not least, keeping the rest of the team alive will be Nebula on the flex support, and their favorite is Ana. People to watch out for, of course, Raiden would put himself there, only right. Love you, man. He is the Reinhardt specialist. And we got Snee, the McCree, he just pops those heads, and then Escape will be everywhere on that ball, annoying the heck out of the backline of Cool Tank and Acorn Fan on No Snakes Given. A little bit of info about them. They were created a week before the latest AOL stage, so very scrambling, and then used to be called Mythion Poseidon. One of our players' parents are getting... I won't say that one. Anyway, move on. And moving on, all of our players drink fight milk before every official match, so they've got some of that milk and, you know, good calcium for the bones, able to get those nimble fingers on those keyboards and be able to click those heads apart. But really quickly, let's run through the map pool for tonight.
Yeah, we're looking at a really exciting map pool. We're going to be starting off on Lijiang Tower. quality map. I think everyone loves it, and that means I love it because I love myself and everyone. And then we're moving into either a choice of 3 maps: Hollywood, Blizzard World, or Kings Row. So that is quite a good range to pick from. It'll be loser's pick going into the second map. Third map choice is going to be Junkertown, Watchpoint, Gibraltar, or Dorado. If we need to go to a little bit of assault, we've got Temple of Anubis, Hanamura, and Volskaya. And if we desperately do need to finish off, we've got a Nepal Oasis situation for a last control map. And really, really desperately, if we somehow need to, Ilios will come through as a tiebreaker. Hopefully we don't get that deep into it, though.
Well, Tara, whenever you and I cast, we seem to go all the way,
Yeah.
so who knows what might happen tonight.
We're in it for the long haul. Now, one thing to note is we do have a prediction up. Feel free to try and go vote to see who you think is going to win as well.
Yeah, guys, get excited and get hyped. We're just getting everybody into the lobby. Lijiang Tower apparel. At the moment, I've been in a couple of scrims myself. I do sub for one of the ASCENT teams, in fact, and we played quite a lot of like that Winston and also the Ball and Diva, and the goal of that was to really dismantle and poke it in and out and then dive on a really low HP target. I wonder if they'll sort of utilize that, especially because someone on SEMANTICS, Escape, was a really good ball player.
I mean, their name is literally Escape. If they can't play ball well, they need to rename themselves. Like, ball is made to escape. So I hope we see SEMANTICS rolling around, pushing people off this map, especially with Lijiang Tower. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they do dabble in that bit of tomfoolery there. But on the other side, though, I think Might Knight and Sudden Knight, I have seen them play a couple of times, especially Sudden Knight. They seem to be everywhere. Very, very good off-tank player. And yeah, I'd be really looking forward to, do they try and match it or do they play their, I think the style, if I remember correctly, was that more Winston Diva dive. So might have a bit of a clash with comps. It's yet to remain to be seen.
Yeah, moving on to Lijiang Tower, you know, it's pretty classic to see a range of comps. I feel like it's a pretty diverse map. You know, you can see the dive, the Winston Diva, you can see Ryan Zara, you can even see, you know, the Sigma come through. Even Hog, you can get hooks off the map. Some people just love the greedy plays. And straight out the bat, it looks like we're seeing a Diva Reinhardt and a Winston Diva matchup.
Yeah, I mean, teams do have time to switch around a little bit, but yeah, you got that Brawl V, the dive. Snee as well will come out, maybe just as a quick teleport to the point, or maybe even just out of spawn and really quickly changing over to Tracer and helping the dive a little bit more. Raiden last second switch though to Reinhardt, so it looks like Apara will have that Ryan 1v1. It'll be mainly down to the walls from Braindead and Marine, which one can get either the Raiden or what that Might Guy, or will it be Sports?
Oh, and straight away, a fight on point. Might Guy falls so quickly to Raiden, Escape following up onto Marnie there, and this is just going to be No Snakes Given falling apart. Snee burning through these remaining players, and that was so quick, just absolute devastation.
Snee was able to get so much damage onto Might Guy, who's immediately switched over to the ball. Just a quick composition switch, and I do agree with that. Once you've lost that point, it's very hard to push on with that Reinhardt. You've also got Legacy Pro switch over that Farah, so they'll be looking to really poke in. But back to Snee really quickly. That was so much damage because of the damage onto Might Guy, and it was able to burn the rest of the support line.
Really smart teleporter coming up from Snee. The sleep doesn't save Sudden Knight as Braindead does manage to finish them off. And that aggression straight onto Sudden Knight is going to make it really hard for the remaining players and No Snakes Given to push. Might Guy is going to try get aggressive, but really without your Zarya to bubble you, it's going to be hard, and they're going to opt to just wait it out.
Wait it out. Yeah, let Legacy Pro just get a little bit of poke in. I mean, who knows? Snee's on like 1 HP, same as Raiden. It goes down, Snee's down. That is huge. Immortality Field used early, but that doesn't save Braindead.
Yeah, losing Braindead, this is going to open the opportunity for No Snakes Given. Escape does manage to finish off Sudden Knight, but they're opting to take the fight rather than cap the point, and this is all free percentage right now to SEMANTICS, and they've got to be loving it. Now Escape can continue to stall in this point. They could have probably flipped the point early, and with that, it's going to give SEMANTICS a little bit of time to potentially stall. I mean, they get it to 62%.
That's pretty high. Honestly, SNE does switch off to the Tracer, but so many ults now are opening up. Legacy Pro already with that barrage thanks to that Mercy pocket of Cool Tank. And now when they'll push out, Escape's going to have to keep that DM locked onto that Pharmacy. Be so careful here. Acorn Fan as well onto the Nano, maybe on Sudden Night. Here comes it does get Raiden.
Raiden falls to a nanoed rocket barrage, but Legacy Pro doesn't need the rocket barrage when they can just land the rockets instead. SNE decides to give up, falls to Sudden Night, and Escape finished off by Legacy. Braindead getting that cheeky out of death kill there onto Legacy Pro, but oh my god, what a play.
What a play indeed. They only had to use a couple of ults as well, so coming back into the fight, they will have Sudden Night almost up with the grab. But then in the back line, here comes the mines.
Yeah, this is really good ult rotation right now. That minefield coming up, and no one's defending point, and that is a free cap going to SEMANTICS. No one was able to touch, and they just pushed aggressively straight onto point. They did get the res for Sudden Night, and with that shatter coming through, it's going to be hard. Nobody falls because of it, and Marnie actually takes out Braindead. There's a grab, picks up both the tanks, and the dragons now burning through, but they're not in the grab anymore, so people can stay alive. Marnie finishes off Raiden, and now you do want to get aggressive here if you're no snakes given. You've only got 50%. You want to get these picks so you can take it, and they are able to follow up here. SNE gets the pulse bomb onto Marnie, and this is really down to SNE and Braindead to see whether they can save it, but I think it should just be a cool fallback now. Give it them and just take one fight.
Yeah, I mean, if you were SEMANTICS, you'd be pretty happy with that. Let's be honest. They're at 95%. They've got about 50% to gather their ults up as well before you push in. SNE there did get a nice little pulse, was instantly res though, so perhaps wanted that pulse later into the next fight, but that doesn't matter because Braindead gets two. They get spared to push on with this Lucio speed boost.
Braindead absolutely taking out that Pharmacy, flying high in the sky no longer. Braindead now fighting Sudden Night as well, and with that coming through, even a nanoed Wrecking Ball isn't going to be much to fight. Getting stunned and Fan the Hammer as well. That is a quick cap back, and it's going to come down to Mike Guy just desperately trying to stall it out, but with an Amplification Matrix coming out, it's going to be really hard. Just a Pharmacy, but that shot through the Amplification Matrix. Braindead absolutely taking names right now, showing no snakes given what they're going to be facing on this on the series here. Lijiang Tower, first point going the way of no snakes given. I mean, SEMANTICS.
No, that was very well played there by SEMANTICS. Great ult rotation. I mean, that McCree High Noon, Legacy Pro on that Pharah, was just not expecting that whatsoever, and it just felt like the High Noon, you know, somehow it takes a long time to get those heads clicked on, but instantly with the Lucio speed boost as well, that's where you're able to dictate the position of the fight. And you know, you had no snakes given, who didn't really have a very mobile comp in the end except for that ball. So once you know, SEMANTICS are on that point, it's very, very hard, especially with your Pharah gone, to retake that point. Anyway, we're rolling out Raiden now onto the Winston. Cool Tank, Mike Guy is still on that Reinhardt, but they will be teleporting too, so they have the positional advantage.
Yeah, getting that early point presence could be the decision maker here. However, Sudden Night got demeched and falls quickly. Raiden, however, joins Sudden Night going back to spawn, and with Baby, she gets taken out by turrets, and then Legacy Pro finding that final bit of damage there. Now it is just going to be Nebula trying to keep the remaining players alive, but with such pure damage coming through from Mike Guy swing that hammer, you're not going to live too long.
You're not gonna, yeah, exactly. That's where the Reinhardt is just really good, especially with Acorn's Fan. You have that immortality field so that you're able to get Might Guy to push into the backline and keep him alive, especially against Braindead, who can just destroy pretty much every tank. Anyway, they're going into White Room now. Great hack onto Sudden Night, instantly to mech.
Yeah, that's a huge hack. Removing that mech, there is going to be no more defense matrix, and Sudden Night falls as well. Losing a tank early is going to be really hard for no snakes given, and the Coalescence is going to just enable SEMANTICS to get a couple more picks. This is exactly how you want this fight to be going if you're SEMANTICS right now. Now it's just the supports desperately trying to keep the point alive. Cool Tank riding around as Lucio. Sudden Knight has returned, and they could still get a couple more bits of percentage here, but they are going to fall to Nebula, and that's finally going to be the point flip to SEMANTICS.
So, Apara, with SNE now really close to EMP, what do you think they should, combo? I'm thinking sort of the Death Blossom, perhaps, the Death Blossom combo, just shut down Sudden Knight. Even just a manual hack onto Sudden Knight would just destroy the rest of the team. Unless you've got, the Kree Flash or something in that back pocket, they're going to have to be so careful leading into this fight, especially that's a huge shadow. What the hell?
Beautiful shadow. Brain Dead decides, I'm going to try and keep this fight alive with the Death Blossom, but only takes out Legacy Pro. There's the Deadeye from Marnie taking out Raiden, and this point is opened up perfectly for No Snakes Given. They're just going to roll over Brain Dead, and they're going to find escape as well. No escape for you. The only escape is Spawn, and that point flips back to No Snakes Given.
For SEMANTICS as well. They didn't really have much to combat that, and now that was quite a late stagger from Nebula, so they'll be able to get that tick at least to 70% before they can even think of touching the point again. In terms of ults, though, you've got escapes, perhaps that can just split the rest of the team of No Snakes, who want to stay really close together. They will be wrapping around the white room. They don't want to get bonked off, but what the hell was that pick? SNE sent back to Spawn, no hacks.
Man, this is devastating. Losing those, staggered picks is making it really hard. Nebula falls. My guy's just swinging this hammer around. Bomb comes out, blocked by a shield by Mike Guy, and now Escape gets taken out before can even get the remix through. Raiden taken out, and this is going to be really hard for someone to get a touch. It's going to come down to SNE on the Tracer, 90% ticking away.
I know, that was a really odd fight for SEMANTICS to properly take. They didn't really throw themselves off the cliff, try and get a good one. But here they go, the dives come in. There's so much damage already. Escapes half HP already.
Yeah, and with the sound barrier coming through, it's going to be hard to do damage to No Snakes Given. Marnie takes out Raiden, and it's just a wrecking ball spinning to win. But I don't know whether that win will come through when an amplification matrix is out. Sound barrier by Baby, however, she wants to make sure this team does not fall. There's the bomb. Bomb doesn't connect onto much, but Nebula's Coalescences does get charged by Mike Guy, but Brain Dead now trying to just get a little bit of value with Escape. They've got the minefield on point. Raiden's now able to return onto the point, and actually, SEMANTICS do manage to get it. Last second, they get the flip.
Escape probably escaped. Oh, the pun was right there. God damn it. Anyway, Escape escaped with about 1 HP as well after spinning to win for at least 30 seconds there. Brain Dead. That was an incredible pick there because no one could take them out, especially the Kree down. There's no one to really pop their heads. And because of that, already the barrage, SNE as well with the pulse bomb. Apara, this is going to be a really hard fight for No Snakes to get, especially with no ults.
Yeah, they're going to have to work hard to try build this Sombra ult here, but Baby falling early, that's going to be really good. Rocket Barrage by Brain Dead, however, an escape, just pile driving into Cool Tank. That's going to shut down this push, and they've got probably one fight left to try build an EMP and take the point.
I agree. SEMANTICS played that extremely well. If you were No Snakes, you maybe wanted the fight to go just a tad bit longer. Get your McCree with the high noon. Maybe get Mike Guy. Mike Guy's really close to Shadow. It's all on that guy, to make those plays for his team. Because other than that, you haven't really got much. Cool Tank hopefully coming out with a sound barrier, but that's a massive anti on the tanks.
And SNE taking out Marnie early. That's going to make it really hard. Losing those headshots is going to be devastating. The boop from Escape, but Raiden is going to get the kills instead. They don't need Escape, and Raiden's the tank doing the work here. Just burning through Cool Tank now, and that overtime's going to tick away, and it does look like SEMANTICS is likely going to be able to take this first point of Lijiang, going up 1 in the series.
Yeah, congratulations, SEMANTICS. Really well played there throughout the whole of Lijiang, but it has been a nail biter, Apara, so far. Yeah. 99% the whole way through, and I just want to pick out how good these Faras have been on Lijiang Tower. Marnie was trying their best to pop the heads, and occasionally they did, but I mean, the amount of rockets that were coming in, especially once the likes of McCree were gone, was so hard. Such good shots coming down. It was so hard, to really combat.
Yeah, absolutely. They just showed us pure skill on that Pharah, and it was putting a lot of pressure onto Marnie. Marnie was doing good work, but definitely that Pharah play was difficult. And SEMANTICS and No Snakes Given, I feel like they're giving us a really good match so far, and I'm super enjoying it. No Snakes Given, I think they have the chance to be able to take some maps from SEMANTICS, and it'll all come down to what map they pick.
Yeah, okay, so we've got, this is the hybrid of where you got to take the point first and then control the payload all the way through of Hollywood, Blizzard World, or Kings Row. I mean, is there much of a fight over where we're going next? Kings Row, for anybody that doesn't know, is probably the best map in all of Overwatch. Everybody loves to play it, pretty much. Although, I have to say, I do love me some Hollywood. But it does look like we're going to go to Kings. I do love Hollywood, though. I won't go on this too long, but I do feel like you can run a lot of comps there. But it seems like we're playing Kings Row, and based off how these Reinhardts are matching up, my guy and Raiden, where do you think we're going to go?
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite an intense fight. I think both teams are going to be able to push all the way to the end at least. I think it's going to be a nail biter again. I also think it's probably not just it's smart to go Kings Row, but knowing that Escape likes to play the Wrecking Ball, not giving him something like Hollywood where there's so much high ground is actually a smart move.
True.
So I think in that sense, it is a smart move to go to Kings Row. Even Blizzard World's really good for a Wrecking Ball. So Kings Row is probably the best choice.
Yeah, I think we did see a bit of Mei come out very early, Lijiang Tower, and Mei is used a lot in Kings Row, and I wonder, we'll probably see it again, and if we do, then it will be down to just blocking off that Reinhardt and then just going in and trying to kill him as fast as possible. And then it'd be interesting what supports they pick, but usually you go the Baptiste over anyone else because that immortality field can obviously save your life, but if the Reinhardt does get walled, there's still a chance to get him out. Off-tank wise, I'm thinking D.Va is played quite often here because of the defense matrix, able to eat up, Mei ults or any other fire strikes as well, anything that might come up. But it seems like on the defense here, Apara, we're going to see some double shield.
Yeah, double shield coming out. I mean, I love Sigma, so I'm not complaining, and double shield can be hard to push through. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. No more mirror matchup like we saw at the very start of Lijiang Tower. I feel like we're getting a bit of jokes going on here. Yeah, there we go. Raiden now opting for the Reinhardt. I was going to say, I don't think they're going to play Wrecking Ball. This is going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Acorn is, I should be more specific, Acorn Fan is on the Zenyatta, so the Discords will probably go onto either Raiden or maybe someone in the backline like Nebula to burn a Baptiste, which is obviously the biggest pick you can get here. But they're playing from two different angles. I really like this from No Snakes. It's forcing SEMANTICS into actually quite a nice rotation. They're onto the high ground now, forcing No Snakes to rotate right around, but Ryan's shield's getting quite low here, and yeah, Arista's able to do quite a lot of pokes. Nice wall though, that's a really nice wall.
Yeah, that was a fun game of Ring Around the Rosie they just played, and now No Snakes Given are in the attacking position, and it's working out, getting that D-Mech onto Escape. That could be good here. However, with that Mei will taking out Might Guy, Acorn does find Raiden, and the defense just want to get a couple of picks to try and stagger it out here, but no, with the devastation from SEMANTICS just taking one after the other, they're going to be able to come back quick enough, and now it's just going to be Marnie, all that is left.
That was actually so back and forth. That was like 6, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, very slowly. Like, it just went back and forth, but eventually SEMANTICS will be able to take this in their first push. Might Guy and Sudden Night, they will still be playing that poke comp, but now it gets a little bit tougher in that streets phase to play that, although you have got quite long sight lines to be able to burn that Reinhardt shield down, but we've already seen some great repositioning from the team, so we might see a little bit of maybe hard right and a wrap around, leaving perhaps who would it be, like Escape on cart, but no, they're just gonna stick to it, and maybe perhaps speed boost directly on top.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do with the Mei in your face?
Oh, that's devastating. That Mei will just blocking all three of them off. They can't do anything to that. And that is exactly what SEMANTICS knew. They knew they were able to just put up that wall, run them over. They don't need to do anything fancy. They are going to win that brawl.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you go anywhere near SEMANTICS, especially with that poke comp, and you are just gone. I'm surprised my guy's still playing the Orisa, to be honest, because of the speed that SEMANTICS are showing here. I mean, look at the space they're able to take, and it's very hard now to really push up, except if Legacy Pro gets a pick like that.
However, Amplification Matrix is out, and there comes the Deadeye by Snee. Snee just trying to find something in a Shatter as well. Shatter, Blizzard, Amplification Matrix, they want everything. They want this point so desperately, and they do get it, but at what cost? It seems like 4 ults.
Yeah, they use quite a lot, but look, Apara, you've got 5 minutes. At the end of the day,
yeah,
what matters is not having to walk back through the streets, just to just to be able to touch again. I look, this is really no snakes given match to win right now. Sorry, fight to win, should I say. Both tank ults used immediately here onto the Mei, but won't really pick up any feet. Now that's going to push in.
It actually got shut down. Now comes the bomb. Who's that going to connect onto? Does take out Sudden Night, even through the Transcendence, and this is going to be really devastating now for No Snakes, given they have just been constantly rolled over, and it begs the question, should they have swapped off this comp when they had the chance? Is this point free?
What the heck? Where was the... I can't even say C9 because that was just so much aggression from SEMANTICS there. I mean, you can just see the Reinhardt domination, comp on King's Row. I mean, this was made for Reinhardt. Unless you played through the double shield meta, then yes, double shield was superior. But right now, where we're standing, that Reinhardt comp being able to wrap around, and the Mei Wolves have been absolutely fantastic, getting on top of them with that speed boost. There really wasn't much of a defense there, Apara, I must admit.
You gotta beg the question, why did they commit to that for so long when literally every fight they got ran over? You want to call the swap, you want to match them up, especially if you know that Mei is causing so much problem. You want to freeze the Mei themselves. You want to be able to take those brawls and not collapse instantly.
You can see No Snakes Given now taking a leaf out of their book, out of SEMANTICS' book, and will be playing that Reinhardt comp, which I'm very glad to see. I am very happy. But yeah, Brain Dead now will be versing Marnie with those walls, seeing which one can get the better wall off onto their Reinhardt. I mean, at the moment, SEMANTICS' Brain Dead is so warmed up, and their walls have been absolutely killer against No Snakes.
Yeah, and they're obviously going to be trying to split up this push, trying to block off 1 or 2 tanks before they get through, and it's going to come down to just making sure that either the team gets through quickly or that the tanks don't get caught out. I like this positioning around the statue. It's going to make it really hard for this brawl to get aggressive, and matching the comp is going to make it really hard for No Snakes Given to get the same sort of value that SEMANTICS got. Maywall's out both sides. The charge onto my guy gets saved by an immortality. However, losing that immortality early is going to be hard. SEMANTICS also have lost their immortality, but Sudden Night is demech'd, and that is devastating. Getting frozen up by Brain Dead. Brain Dead just trying to get the picks, but that's a huge Maywall. That's going to open up the fight. Raiden and Brain Dead have both fallen out, and already an amplification matrix by Acorn Fan. So much healing. Acorn Fan just knew, pump the healing, get the matrix, and then we will cap the point. And okay, they got it probably just as quick as SEMANTICS.
Honestly, that was very, very fast. I cannot give enough kudos to Acorn Fan. That was the fastest amplification matrix I've seen in a while, and just burnt down the rest of the team. Now you're just going to push up, much like SEMANTICS did. Like, you did this to us, we're going to do this to you. Although SEMANTICS actually do have a very good defensive position. You've got really good Maywall opportunities here. Nebula as well does have their own amplification matrix now that can one-shot if you get that Reinhardt Fire Strike through. So it's all down to perhaps the Reinhardt Shatters.
There's a Deadeye, doesn't really connect onto much. Immortality's both side, and that's the amplification matrix that you were talking about. Shatter, however, is pretty good. Might Guy falls, but so does Brain Dead. The respawns are a little bit closer for the attacking team, but no snakes given. They are the ones that are falling, so even though their spawns closer, it's going to be harder to win this fight. Raiden getting aggressive and Sneak, now taking out Sudden Night, self-destruct, blocked by a wall, and Mike Guys return to the fight. I don't think you really want to take it, but they disagree. Throwing the Blizzard out, nobody getting frozen. Mike Guy getting stunned, and out comes that amplification matrix. Deadeye connects onto Marnie, and the point is pushing, Pat.
Yeah, they're still going at it. Oh my goodness, the aggression amplification matrix comes out instantly though. People in no tucks given are just falling like flies. They even, did they really need to beat there? Doesn't matter. They're just able to get more. So they're just really able to, they want this position, and fair enough too. This is such a hard arch to crack. It's honestly can be even harder than the Hanamura first point if you can't get it right. Mike Guy though almost up with another nice wall. That stops quite a lot of retreating. Immortality field pushed out quite early there, Apara.
And Blizzard now coming out as well. Brain Dead really putting in this work. Baby taking out Marnie. No May for this fight. And a Shatter as well. Shatter response from Mike Guy, connecting on to quite a few more. And here comes the self-destruct, taking out two. Supports are gone. Sudden Night does not want this fight to stop. Sudden Night now finding escape, and with that, it's just Brain Dead and Snee on the point, and with a Reinhardt swinging at you, you're not going to live for very long.
That was like goats though. There was so many ults there. It was like, how many ults do you want, sir? And he just replied, yes. I want them all. I want it all. And I mean, look, it worked out in their favor. And no snakes given. It's not like they don't have any ults now. They've got both support ults. Acorn fan will be able to amplification matrix. That's a lot of pressure, especially onto Raiden's shield there. It comes out immediately. High Noon now popped as well.
And that High Noon takes out two! Wow, right through the amplification matrix. Raiden and Brain Dead fall, and this point is going to be pretty much freely given now as the remaining stragglers of Semantics fall to Acorn's just insanely good aim.
Yeah, Acorn fan just wiping up the rest of the team there. Look, honestly, No Snakes, they're doing a very good job at attacking there. They got a little bit of a hiccup at that archway, but honestly, through that 3k Diva bomb from Sudden Night, the train just hasn't stopped yet. Escape though does have a bomb of their own. Amplification matrix out. Wall as well. This might be able to get Sudden Night. No, just gets out.
They've fallen back so far. No snakes given, practically giving that point for free. And I mean, an amplification matrix is very scary, so it's understandable. Yeah. Out comes the self-destruct, not really connecting onto much. And there's the Blizzard though, freezing up Raiden. Raiden falls, and Nebula and Escape are taken out as well. This is looking really good now for No Snakes given. They may not have the same kind of time bank, but they're looking good to push this all the way through.
Marnie has really shown that they can play that Mei. That was a beautiful freeze. 4 members there. Cool Tank as well, still holding on to that beat. Whereas Escape, oh, he just gets absolutely melted. They couldn't even touch either.
Once again, no escape for Escape right there. Just got burnt alive.
Absolutely. That is what we call deleted.
Yeah.
That was really good times from both teams there. Semantics, of course, with a little bit of a better time bank, 3 minutes 35 to No Snakes Given's 2 minutes there. But you wouldn't really know it. They've been playing so well here. Would you switch anything up if you were No Snakes Given on the defense? I mean, you'd probably just want to stick that Reinhardt comp, surely. Yeah,
I would not run the same comp they ran last point. They just got walked right over, and it looks like they've decided they are gonna push the same way they've been pushing, and same as Semantics, just everyone's sticking to what they know and love so far, so I like to see that. But yeah, definitely No Snakes Given. I love the double shield, don't get me wrong, I love the Sigma, but it didn't work.
You and like one person is wooing in chat right now. I hope you know that. Yeah, 9 months of double shield, let's go. Whereas the Reinhardt stands that I'm sure I have behind me, of Might Guy and Raiden. They'll be going at it, and their shatters as well. We haven't really been able to talk about them much, but they've been absolutely stunning and quite shattering, if I may say so myself. There will be a quick rotation though, straight into the hotel. Now it looks like No Thanksgiving's defending.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to stay in the Elderworth Hotel because they just ran right on through, trying to get in. Yeah, you're absolutely right there. And because of that, they are going to be aggressive. They've managed to remove the immortality pretty early, but this fight hasn't connected on so much. The May Wolves both sides, but it is going to lead to sudden night getting demeched and Might Guy getting taken out. That's going to be really bad for No Thanksgiving. You kind of want to just die quickly and reset.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was worth staying in the hotel. Yes, it was about $50 a night, but yeah, you think after 6 years they'd lowered it a little bit by now. But anyway, Raiden's coming out with a shatter, so they're going to have to be very careful. Might Guy is not really near it to match that, but Acorn, of course, Acorn fan already has the amplification matrix, so pops it instantly. Beautiful Maywell, what the hell was that?
That Mabel was right inside the amplification matrix, and sure, it's taken down, but it's going to give the room for the shatter to just shut down this push. Sudden Night does finish off Raiden, and losing that Reinhardt could be devastating, and it does come down to the rest of Semantics just making sure that this quick respawn from No Thanksgiving does not get value.
Yeah, so you've got 30 seconds now on the clock. Might Guy with that shatter. Marnie, we've seen some beautiful blizzards from them. Hopefully getting another one. And then Legacy Pro, these high noons, Apara. I mean, they've been insane, these matches. And hopefully they'll be insane now. Application Matrix does get popped.
The Maywolves come up, but it's blocking both Deadeyes. So not only does Legacy Pro lose, but escape. Big bomb coming through, self-destruct taking out 3. There is blizzards on both points, but it's not really going to work out for either side, as No Thanksgiving just has Cool Tank desperately trying to keep the point alive. But no, that bomb from Escape absolutely confirmed that defense.
What a clutch there. Now Semantics only need 1 tick because they unfortunately No Thanksgiving weren't able to get a single tick. So it's just down to, and we saw how their last attack went, but we can't forget now that they have been playing that Reinhardt a little bit more, and especially with those Mays. So, they could hold them out for 3 minutes and basically 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but it's quite an uphill battle, especially with how good, Raiden and, how Raiden's going at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a very hard defense for No Thanksgiving, and they're gonna have to put in their work just to confirm a draw. With 3 minutes 35 seconds, they've got to do it. They don't want to go 2-0 in this series and be put in that reverse sweep situation. You wanna have as much value as possible for yourself, and I think with Acorn Fan, we know they can heal like crazy. So this defense might be possible, considering they're opting to run that brawl now.
No, of course, and we've seen how fast Acorn Fan can get those amplification matrices, and it's shooting through them. Legacy Pros is able to get Deadeye pretty much instantly. You've got Marnie as well, building Blizzard at lightning paces, so it's definitely possible for No Thanksgiving. They're going to do the same wraparound Semantics, taking the high ground and then going right around to the back again, perhaps, Apara, despite really the poke not been there as strong, but hey, it worked last time, so why change?
Yeah, I mean, they've got the time bank to do it. My fear is literally just, if this is wasting your time bank, that could be pretty devastating. You've got such a golden egg in your hands right now of that time bank. You don't want to lose it, but they're just looking for 1 or 2 picks, and now Raiden is going to get up close and personal. Maywolves, both sides once again, but Might Guy taking out Baby early. That's going to be hard, but Might Guy does fall. Semantics are going to be pretty happy about that pick. However, losing Raiden isn't going to be as good here. It's pretty confirmed that No Thanksgiving are going to win this first fight, however.
That immortality field was so clutch for the DPS from Acorn Fan. Hats off to you. And because of that, you had, Legacy Pro that was able to click those heads, and especially Marnie, who's now 70% to Blizzard. They've got to get their ults as fast as possible in the defense. Acorn Fan has that amplification matrix to hold them back. And Might Guy, don't forget about them. They've almost got Shatter.
Oh, we see my guy getting into such an awkward position. Gets taken out. No tanks left, but no snakes given now. Yeah, they got split up perfectly by a Maywall and an amplification matrix. And it also meant Acorn Fan's amplification matrix got no value. And now it's just down to Marnie stalling it out. Deadeye finishes off Acorn Fan. And the Blizzard even gets eaten. That is a pretty good show by SEMANTICS.
That was a very good show there. That such an unfortunate split. I don't think No Snakes Given expected how fast SEMANTICS were coming back. I think they were trying to like strategize in comms, and they're like, oh my goodness, they're there. They're in our face. We're gonna see an incredible 3K bomb here that just solidified this, the defense from SEMANTICS there. Really well played.
Yeah, and SEMANTICS now looking really strong. It looked a little bit more even on Lijiang Tower, but SEMANTICS really showing us they are bringing their A game tonight. I don't think anyone missed a beat. I mean, Baby was dropping those really good sound barriers when needed. We saw good amplification matrix. I really can't fault them at all, and I think they also noticed the situation of we have the better comp, we can run over them, and it gave them such a good time back.
Oh, indeed, and it's now that 2-0 lead. So No Snakes Given. They're gonna have to come back in a great reverse sweep. Can they do it in the escort of Junkertown, Watchpoint Gibraltar, or Dorado? What would you pick here? Maybe we saw a little bit of that poke in the defense there. Yes, it didn't go well in Kings Row, but it can go really well, especially when you have a good widow on Junkertown. Even Watchpoint Gibraltar can be pretty good with the poke if you know what, especially if you have those double sort of sniper comps. The issue though is when you get the dive, and we've seen how good Raiden Escape can be on that for Winston too. But, you know, if we're going for more of that brawl style, then maybe take them to Dorado. It seems like they will be taking them to Junkertown. We did see some really nice Hanzo towards the beginning of Lijiang Tower. But now, they'll be able to bring it back out because Kings Row is a little bit more tougher, and we did see the same comp ran on either side. But we might see a little bit of a switch up from either Raiden and Escape might go for the dive, and then Might Guy and Sudden Night will probably be going for that arrest 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Junkertown, you do see double shield quite a bit, and I mean, you could even try cheese it with a little bit of pirate ship. Yeah, we might see some cheese come out. So I feel like this was the right map pick if they're desperately wanting to run that Sigma Orisa. I just do fear if they choose to do that, they need to recognize if it's not working.
Yeah, they need to make those switches a little bit faster. We can see that they are capable of doing that though, Apara. Yeah. I mean, on Lijiang Tower, we saw a lot of last-minute switches there, and it came so close because of it. Every single time from, you go to that Tracer, you go to the Farah, and yeah, so they can adapt. It just was almost a mental block that unfortunately they didn't last round. That's okay. Fresh-faced as ever. It doesn't seem like they're actually going to run double shield after our massive spiel. They're going to instead go onto the Reinhardt, which is, I guess if you're going to hold really close, perhaps? Like, if you hold really close, this is like the perfect comp. This is what you want. You want that Mei. You want people that can survive really long, like the Immortality field. It seems like they are going to do that, although, will the D.Va give them away? They can't really crouch. We see in the Overwatch League, if any of you guys have watched that, they very slowly push D.Va in there. They're going to hold really close here though. Raiden will be going on to the Sigma, but depends how fast they'll be seen, especially with the Hanzo arrow. They're like, yeah, you're right here, right now, and brain dead bastard.
Yeah, I think they called it immediately. They walked out the right door, so I think someone gave it away, unfortunately. And yeah, because of that, it is going to give SEMANTICS a little bit more value, a little bit more life, not an instant shutdown. And having the Bastion pick from Braindead could make this up close and personal defense not work, because you can't be up close and personal when there's a giant machine gun sort of rattling your face down. Marnie, however, is getting the kills, but yeah, look at that. Brain Dead taking out Might Guy, and the payload is pushing on.
No.
We are now seeing No Sticks given, get a bit of value. Raiden taking out Legacy Pro, and this is just going to be a back and forth fight to see who's going to be able to take it. We do see Amplification Matrix come out, but now it is going the way of SEMANTICS, and I mean, it gave them a little bit of time bank, but realistically, you got to be happy if you're SEMANTICS.
Yeah, I mean, you got stalled from maybe about a minute, actually, but now you got Brain Dead sitting on cart, almost got the ult as well, and a lot of others. You've got Raiden, you've got Escape as well with their ultimates. On the other side, though, maybe if you can get Mei really up close, I do like how they're kind of taking out the LOS of the Bastion and rushing in onto him. I mean, it's the only way to do it.
Out comes a minefield and a flux as well. That could be devastating, but it gave the height to throw that blizzard out. Brain Dead freezes up, but Nebula's Transcendence is going to be able to keep them alive. Raiden getting a lot of good picks, and Nebula and Schnee following up to just get a beautiful team kill.
That was that was exceptionally well played. I mean, they went all in on Brain Dead, and you kind of have to there. You can't forget though that Snee is also an absolute beast onto this Tracer. Already second pulse bomb in the back pocket. You do though have Sudden Night and Legacy Pro. They'll be looking for, if nothing like kills, then maybe just some position and buy some space for Might Guy to be able to push in and get those kills that they really, really need, especially Raiden. Once you're in his face, he can't really do much.
Yeah, and Raiden getting Mayward, this is going to make it really hard. Raiden gets taken out. Baby and Nebula both fall as well. No more supports or Sigma for SEMANTICS, and you just got to call that. You know that fight is going to go the way of No Sticks given. Even if you have taken out Acorn Fan, reset and push quick.
Yeah, exactly. SEMANTICS did take out the likes of Acorn Fan. Because of that, that is a lot of healing. You can see that they know this. They're like, yeah, we're just going to back out. We're just going to kind of wait for Acorn Fan to come back. Very nice little taxi, though. We'll get back in time. But Escape will have those mines perhaps just right on top of the cart, so they can't really push very far here. Sudden Night, about 1 HP on the mech, looking to perhaps get a bomb off before getting demexed.
Oh, there's the minefield, but not really connecting onto too much. Self-destruct from Sudden Night. I think they just got forced out from health. Yeah, just opting to get the remake back quickly. Brain Dead, however, getting a Sonic Arrow into Legacy Pro, taking them out, and now Acorn Fan falling to Raiden here. This is looking, once again, really good for SEMANTICS as out comes the Flux. Sound barrier by Cooltank's going to keep it alive, and the Shatter. Death during a Shatter. That's such an upsetting feeling if you're a Reinhardt. Marnie falling, and it's just going to be stall.
It's going to be stall. Is it stall long enough to get another touch here? Remains to be seen. I don't think so. The closest person is McCree, and even then, not much survivability to be said there. You do have Acorn Fan, though, there with Might Guy, maybe winnable, especially with the Amplifications Matrix coming out.
Yeah, Amplification Matrix getting blocked by a shield, and oh, the Blizzard comes out by Marnie. That could have been the perfect stall. That might be able to save them the fight as Raiden falls. Escape does pile drive at the point, but doesn't manage to get any picks, and nobody's following up just yet. Nebula and Snee putting in a little bit of damage, and the rally from Baby. That's going to be a lot of damage coming through. Baby just trying to keep the team alive as well. Escape putting in the fight, and now out comes a Transcendence from Nebula. And the minefield by Escape is good, finishing off Marnie, and now it's just going to be these remaining stragglers. They want to try and keep this point, getting that time ticking down as much as possible. Legacy trying not to drop onto minefields, but falls into Raiden's damage instead. Sudden Night and Cool Tank are all that's left, and that's going to be second point confirmed for SEMANTICS.
Gosh, Brain Dead's had a good game.
Yeah.
Absolutely tearing them apart. The amount of damage coming out from the arrows, and of course, who can forget the Bastion on first point there? But yeah, always there, just in the most annoying spot every time. Legacy Pro, however, does have the high noon. That's really about it. Maybe you got Cool Tank just to beat an aggression, but you do have to be really careful as Raiden's coming up. That's a big D-mech though. That's going to really hurt Sudden Night. My goodness, no snakes given.
Yeah, and I mean, it hurts Sudden Night as well. They have to run all the way back trying to hide. I think they're going to swap hero just to get the mech back. Sudden Night, yep, losing all ult charge they may have had just to get your mech back. That can be pretty rough.
No, that can be pretty rough, but I guess it is necessary. Otherwise, you're staggering for so long. Here comes the Flux, though. Doesn't really pick up too much. Legacy Pro does, though. That's a massive 2K.
Yeah, Deadeye taking out Raiden mid-air. You hate it when you're a Sigma and you get that Deadeye to the face while you're flying. Legacy Pro now finishing off any remaining players that are trying to push this payload, and SEMANTICS just falling all the way back.
Yeah, they can hold this. 2 minutes remaining, no snakes given. They have quite a number of ultimates coming up, and Acorn Fan will be healing the absolute heck out of Might Guy and Sudden Night. So already with that nano boost, which had to deploy onto the Tracer. There's not too many amazing ones. Maybe Cool Tank as well to keep him alive, but Sudden Night falling to Sneeze gonna really, really hurt. There's no defense matrix to protect. Legacy Pro's brain dead headshots. What the hell was that?
Brain Dead just going crazy. 2 headshots. That's what he's been looking for right there. And this is going to give so much room for this payload to continue pushing along pretty much uncontested, as I think No Snakes Given are desperately just trying to find some value right now. You see a minefield on the point, but the Dragons are going to zone anyone off this payload once again. Nano onto Legacy Pro. We got to see Legacy Pro make a bit of value out of it, and they do take out Raiden. Raiden got a bit too aggressive. Legacy Pro taking out both tanks now, and there is a last-minute hold.
That is 50 seconds remaining. This is final fight territory here, and you can tell SEMANTICS really did put their all into it, although their win condition here is Nebula with that nano boost, probably onto Raiden, just diving into that backline. You don't have to worry too much about the stuns when you've got that nano boost applied to you. Although, having said that, with the likes of a flash and then a shield bash on top of that, it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle here. Sudden Night, hopefully looking to get that bomb to force people off, but here comes the dive and the high noon. What is Legacy Pro, man?
Legacy Pro knows exactly where to put those Deadeyes. Taking out another 2. Raiden has not been loving the Deadeyes at all. Might Guy does get found by Escape, but this is looking really good right now. Legacy Pro desperately just trying to hold this point.
What is
I don't think they're going to let anyone touch.
High ground, Apara?
Yeah, the sleep onto Baby whilst nanoed meant that they weren't able to touch.
Oh. As an anime, beautiful.
Yeah.
It was so good. That was a really good hold there just before the cart got to touch. And they had to hold for about 3.5 minutes onto that final point. Very, very good defense. And it's definitely winnable for No Ducks. Coming out on the attack, no, we saw No Ducks. Sorry, No Ducks. I keep calling them No Ducks. No Snakes. No Snakes. Different creatures. Different animals.
Yep. Very
Do
different,
snakes eat
actually.
Yeah,
I think
they're not even
probably.
part of anything. I can't even go, oh yeah, they're part of the same like species or something.
Yeah.
No, in fact, you know, if I'm no animal expert, but I'm sure snakes probably eat ducks as well. So
I'm sure there is one snake that has eaten a duck at one point.
And it probably lives in
history.
Australia, let's be honest. It probably lives on this map.
One thing I have to ask you, Pap, just quickly.
Go on.
We saw Escape swap off the Wrecking Ball going onto the Diva at that last second. Do you think that was a good idea, or do you think that they maybe should have just stuck to the status quo?
It depends. Like I guess it depends if they just used ult or not. I don't mind the Diva switch if you're expecting Legacy Pro to get that high noon and you're able to eat it up. But I mean, unfortunately, and we saw it didn't quite work for Escape. So again, I didn't get quite a good look enough, but I'd say no unless you just use minefields. You've got SEMANTICS though that are going to run that double shield like we thought No Snakes were going to do. Marnie going all the way back to spawn just to switch off to that Tracer, which is fair enough too. They're going to go a very aggressive dive, probably looking for an anti-Acorn fan, as Might Guy and Sudden Night will be diving in, dismantling the likes of Nebula and Baby. But it's very hard supports to actually dive, so they're going to have to think about this quite hard.
Yeah, and opting now for Widow. They're just going to want to try and get those headshots, but Now there are shields in their way. It kind of seems like every hero they pick, there's some kind of disadvantage to it right now. So it's going to be hard work for Mani, but I'm sure they're going to be able to bring us some kind of pressure here. Sudden Knight and Mike Guy now getting up close and personal. Nano onto Mike Guy as well. That means that baby is going to fall. There's no more Brig on the field for healing, and we've got a Primal Rage coming out as well. Only for Snee. That Ashe getting pushed all the way to the back. Meanwhile, on point, Sudden Knight is able to win that fight with the help of Cool Tank, and this payload is going to continue pushing on as Raiden falls.
Yeah, the double shield has not been doing wonders to any of the teams right now, but I think they'll stick to it though. Raiden is quite close to Bongo, but on the other side, Mani may have been playing DPS Mystery Heroes, but that is a massive pick for Brain Dead there. Cool Tank falling quite low, able to just get popped up. I don't think there'll be much, especially with Bob getting poked off. They actually will touch those semantics.
Yeah, huge anti-nade comes out by Acorn fan, however, and that is going to lead to the remaining players who got that touch to fall. And I do want to really talk, that whip shot from onto Bob was beautiful.
That was. It pushed 1,600 HP Bob off the payload, and they just got the focus on Sudden Knight. What the hell? That's the last 5 kills have gone the way of Sudden Knight. He wants more. He's out for blood. He's pushed right in. He gets rocked to the face and then pulled. I don't even know if he'll escape. What an absolute chat. He's also pumped. The bomb just so he can remake. Oh no, he's waiting. I thought he was going to wait. No, he's going to go back to his team after just buying so much space and time for the team to be able to push up the payload. That was really well played. Nano onto Mike Guy.
Oh, and yeah, now Mike Guy's going to take out Brain Dead. That was actually such a smart play by Sudden Knight. Now they're just going to get so much value. Dragon's coming out the rally by Baby to try and keep this team alive. And with Mike Guy primaling in your face, it is pretty scary here. Nebula getting pushed around so much by this angry monkey of Winston. And it's just putting so much pressure on these supports. They can't keep the remaining players on payload alive. The Dragons do touch the payload, however, and kind of push No Snake's given off it for a time being. But now with Baby and Nebula falling, this payload is just going to continue rolling on through.
You know what I've realized? Defense is hard. These guys are really good at attacking, and when it comes to defense, it's just a lot harder with positioning, and I completely understand. Like, I would rather attack. In fact, I play with somebody who literally has a curse where we always play defense. Because, I mean, look at these positions. We didn't see anything like this from No Snakes towards the beginning. I love this from them, taking the aggression, buying out kill zones for their team. Now, though, there will be a rally. They'll be able to push so hard in. These anti-nades, what the hell was that?
Acorn is throwing those biotic grenades so well, just landing onto so many players, and Mike Guy is getting so much value out of it. Cool Tank's rally as well really enabled that fight, and this payload is just going to continue tracking, and we're going to remember that Semantics did not full cap. So No Snakes Given don't even have to full cap.
Acorn fan just needs to calm down a second. They've already got Nano, probably going on to Mike Guy here. Sudden Knight, there's actually so many ultimates for No Snakes to use. Semantics, they did make a little bit of a switch, but Escape does have that flux, so can stop the payload for a time being here. They're trying to find any target. They're going so deep.
The amplification matrix, however, was what won them that fight. Sudden Knight getting completely demeched, Baby chasing down Cool Tank as well, and that was just, you know what, the flux pushed them away, but the amplification matrix did the damage.
Did the damage, no indeed. And now Brain Dead is on that Torbjorn, and yes, we laugh at the Swedish meatball on the field, but we'll make it hard for Mani to be able to get into the backline, get a bomb onto, you know, the Nebula or Baby to open up the fight, because you've got to be so careful of just getting chipped down slowly by that turret. It's so annoying. Snee as well does have, that's a cheeky dragon onto the high ground with the bomb. Well, it does. It takes out Baby.
Losing Baby could be devastating. That's a lot of speed that you want. And the Nano Primal Winston once again getting up close and personal. Brain Dead is getting thrown out of this fight. Pulse Bomb onto Raiden. And wow, this is looking so good for No Snakes Given. Now as Mani just runs over the remaining stragglers. Semantics, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to touch. It's going to look like Baby's going to be the one that tries, but a whip shot's going to push them away. And then the stun, shield bash, whip shot.
Comeback is
No
real?
Snakes Given
Most things
Maybe a
given.
reverse sweep.
Reverse sweep is actually a possibility.
Yeah.
That was really, really well played there by No Snakes. Every single dive got me excited of how are they going to approach this. Their communication was clearly top notch. Raiden, by the way, I mean, he would DM me later if I didn't say that this was a really good play by you, Raiden. But yeah, no snakes given. That was all on their side, pretty much, especially that last little half there. And you could see why they picked that map. But unfortunately for No Snakes Given, and fortunately for SEMANTICS, they now have control of where their team goes, and that is not control, oh my goodness, 2 CP of Temple of Anubis, Hanamura of Volskaya Industries. Okay, Apara, let's break it down.
Yep.
Okay, Volskaya Industries, quite brawly, but at the same time you can run poke on it. And also dive, but you tend to see more of the, if you do run dive, it's more of that brawl style dive. Hanamura, that is quite brawly, especially if you can, we've seen some sims on the, on Lijiang Tower, excuse me, and get them onto point. It's very hard to move a Reinhardt off. Temple of Anubis, that is an open playing field. You can play whatever you want, but usually on defense you see quite a little bit of poke. This is where you actually see Junkrat getting played as well because of the little chokes that everyone has to push through, and the tires can just dismantle teams. And I mean, you can see why Baptiste is just so strong with the immortality fields, and especially on King's Row, it was all down to who had to fling out immortality field first, usually lost the fight.
Yeah, I think all SEMANTICS need to do is make sure Acorn Fan isn't on Arda, to be honest. And I personally think the correct map for them to choose, quote unquote correct, is Hanamura. I think that's going to be a really good map for them to play. I think Volskaya gives a lot of value to that Winston comp that Mike Guy was showing they were really good at. Temple of Anubis, you can run the Winston a little bit as well. So I think personally Hanamura, if they want to get Mike Guy off Winston, Acorn Fan off Ana, and maybe play something they're a bit more comfortable on, I would choose Hanamura. But I'm not the players, and frankly speaking, I could be completely wrong in that map choice.
No, you're not!
Hey, let's go!
Go casters! That's right. Yeah, the boys.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Yeah, they will be going on to Hanamura if that wasn't obvious by my woo-wooing. I mean, we saw how strong Sneak can be on especially the first point. I'm pretty sure it was Lijiang Tower just burning down Might Guy. Probably see it again, and there's a lot of different sneaky spots, and they love to reposition themselves and go on cheeky angles. SEMANTICS, and there's a lot of that with Hanamura. You don't obviously have to TP directly to the point. You can go top left, you can go kind of to the right a little bit, or you can go, you can even, without a sim, just speed boost and then wrap all the way around to the top, and then you know, sort of take stock from there of what they're actually playing. Yeah, it'll be all down to the support of No Snakes to keep them, especially the defense, alive to begin with here. It's going to be quite tough because SEMANTICS will probably just want to play that really aggressive Reinhardt that we saw earlier.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to just a really good map, defensive choice of comp here. I almost want to see Mani back on the Mei, but they are opting for Farah by the looks of it. And I mean, Farah does work, at least on this first point. You can get those cheeky shots over the gate. So you know what, we might see the start of something new here with this Farah coming out. We saw Farah on Lijiang Tower a little bit, and so it might work in their favor.
I don't mind this Farah pick, actually, to be honest. It will it will do two things. It will force SEMANTICS to be really mindful of where they're going to TP, because they can't really comfortably get Mani out of the skies. Or because the spawn is so close, those SEMANTICS are just able to go back and really quickly switch over to a Kree or something like that to put a little bit of pressure. But as it stands, it's all down to how much damage can Mani just poke in with full tanks damage boost. Just seems like it's going to go straight to the point, but there is a first pick. That's a shocker for SEMANTICS.
Yeah, losing both supports early on. SEMANTICS, whilst they may have that point pressure and they do take out Sudden Night, it's going to be really hard to keep this team alive. They do get a free tick, and the Maywall's putting a little bit of pressure, making it they can't fully touch properly. Res now from Cool Tank brings Sudden Night back into the fight. Cool Tank said, hey, you're a Cool Tank, let me res you. And I mean, realistically right now, SEMANTICS, they've got such a solid position that the supports have managed to come back. Nebula are actually putting a lot of pressure onto Mike Guy, taking them out of the fight. There is a sleep onto escape, but Sudden Night is stuck in that room, and they get demeched, and wow! They actually managed to get that, losing both supports.
Yeah, no, they held on, and especially because the, No Snake's Given actually had a lot of players still alive, but without tanks, there's nothing much you can really do there. And, Might Guys, they're trying to dive in, but it's very hard to play dive on Hanamura, especially the first point. Second point's not so bad. There's a little bit more high ground you can kind of play around with. But once Winston is on that point, very hard to move him off. I'm surprised Snee hasn't just teleported them directly onto point here. They are going to go top left or top right, depending on how you look at it. Defenders, top right. Yeah. But Marnie's still got that barrage. He's going to be looking up SEMANTICS. That's a massive anti-nade too.
Out comes the Photon Barrier, but Legacy Pro is getting the picks, and realistically, SEMANTICS got so split up that it was really hard for them to defend. However, Raiden's putting in a lot of work, taking out 3. Cool Tank trying to get the res, but gets frozen up and taken down, and this point is going to start ticking away. Maywall on one side, Self-Destruct on the other. That's going to be really hard to get a touch. Doomfist from Legacy Pro is the last minute still on top of a Tracer from Marnie, and this is why they chose Hanamura. Obviously, SEMANTICS know how to play it, so Pixel perfectly, and they've just completely collapsed No Snakes Given. No Snakes now are all back, but if someone steps off, this could go the way of SEMANTICS, but no, they finish off all the kills, and they do hold it with 2 ticks nearly full capped.
Oh, SEMANTICS, that was brutal. They pushed in so hard and fast there. Might Guy, look, I do love his Winston, especially on Junkertown, absolute beast, but it's been very hard for him to really get much value to begin with. But we're now got to keep in mind, Acorn fan, of course, of those amazing antis, will be able to actually land a nano on Might Guy, and that will put a lot of pressure into the backline of Nebulous and Baby. Might Guy, though, on top, already at his ball. That's a massive anti-nade. There it is again. And there comes the nano.
Yeah, anti-nade nano, but the nano gets frozen up this time. However, Legacy Pro taking out Snee. There's the self-destruct, gets charged by Raiden, gets to put the shield up as well, saving the whole team from the self-destruct. What a smart charge. Acorn fan now stuck under the ground. Sudden Night desperately trying to keep the fight alive, but Legacy Pro is going to fall to Baby here with Raiden just swinging that hammer around onto Acorn fan. Sound barrier by Baby. She's going to just make sure there's enough health for this fight to keep on going. Self-destruct can't really be stopped by much, but they do manage to get around natural cover. Cool Tank falls to Snee, and this fight is maybe going to be saved by Legacy Pro as they punch Braindead into a wall here. Legacy Pro getting swung at by Raiden, but does manage to punch them and finish it off, and maybe another 2 CP moment. It's just a safe on
2
point.
CP, everybody. Oh my gosh. Marnie, beautiful switch up onto that Tracer, and of course Legacy Pro as well. That punch onto Braindead was massive, not just because it took May, but it also took the Blizzard that Braindead was holding, which would have completely wiped out the fight. Might Guy as well, wonderful stalls all around. Next fight though, Acorn fan will have another nano if they can land a massive anti-nade. Could be absolutely devastating. Raiden, however, look at this speed. Raiden has shattered pretty much. Snee as well, taking that high ground, probably pop Tac Visor.
Losing Cool Tank can make it really hard for No Snakes Given to hold this, and yep, there's that Tac Visor. Nebula has fallen to Might Guy, however, and that's going to slow down this push. Sudden Night gets found by the Tac Visor, and now SEMANTICS are all going to try and jump onto point. Just Snee staying on the high ground. Out comes a Meteor Strike by Legacy Pro just onto a wall, but Marnie and Cool Tank are getting the picks, and it is just Snee getting taken out by Marnie at the end.
So that's 3 minutes they've now defended second point alone here. Raiden now with the shatter. It's going to be quite hard to land like a really big one, but if you can just get Acorn Fan shattered, that would just be, I mean, that would be detrimental to someone like Mike Guy, who just needs so much healing when he's trying to dive the likes of a May, a Cree, a Baptiste. Very, very hard heroes to dive, especially as a Winston who can just get burnt down there. But on the other side there, you got the Pulse hopefully pull back on.
Pulse takes out Brain Dead, but unfortunately a shatter from Raiden didn't connect onto anything because everyone managed to just jump down immediately. They do have point presence. Sudden Knight's taken out Nebula, however, and now we got Mike Guy fighting Raiden on the point here. Swinging Monkey and swinging Hammer. We're going to see what wins this fight. We do not see Legacy Pro back, and the uppercut into Baby is going to confirm that punch onto Raiden. And this is where Doomfist just has a field day, you know. Doomfist is so good for those last minute 2 CP stalls, but they don't want to let Escape cap point. There we go. Good.
As close as ever.
Yeah.
Last comfortable fight territory now. Apara, Sudden Night with the bomb, which is going to be really good for No Snakes, especially of how tightly knit Semantics have to play now. Raiden might have used Shatter, but already has another one, pretty much, and then you've got Escape as well with another bomb. So it's going to be 2 Diva bombs probably used simultaneously if we know these guys. It's like, you Diva, I'm Diva, let's bomb together. That's a Nano Cree. Yeah, it does get boosted up as well. Everyone's using everything for Semantics.
Everything is coming out. Nano onto Mike Guy. We saw a self-destruct come out, and there's a self-destruct from Escape. Remake onto Marnie. Raiden gets the charge into Mike Guy, and this could be the moment that Semantics has been looking for. It might have taken a little bit long to find it, but finally they're breaking free and opening up this point for a little bit of a final cap. It's just Cool Tank. That is all that is remaining. Marnie trying to stall it out, and we might see a 2 CP moment again. It's hard to tell. Pulse Bomb comes out, doesn't connect onto much. We've got an angry Monkey Primal raging in the backline, but nobody touches, and the cap does come through for Semantics.
No Snakes though. That was actually really well played. They got it to overtime as well, so if they can cap with some time on the bank, then that means that they'll only have to have one more offense to be able to take 1 tick for first point. But again, that remains to be seen of how good their attack is. But if it's anything like that Junkertown attack, it is definitely a possibility. Semantics, though, really well played. I mean, once you're on point, it is quite hard to push them off. There was a lot of ults onto the high ground as well that were used towards that final fight. And unfortunately, nothing came for No Snakes, but everything came for Semantics. The Maywall to block off the bomb. You had the Blizzard, you had the Beat. I mean, they weren't dying anytime soon, Apara. Now they're just going to mirror each other, much like they did with King's Road there. Snee and Legacy Pro will be going at it with those Krees, and you've seen how good those Deadeyes have been. It'd be interesting to see if I mean, that's to say if point 1 lasts longer than it did last time, but getting that McCree first point, just wrapping him around to that high ground is going to be really devastating. But we haven't seen much like repositions from No Snakes, unlike Semantics. So will they just be going for the head-on strat, especially because they don't have a sim?
Yeah, this not having a sim could be interesting. They're not able to go cheeky pushes. They have to go head on straight through this door. And as long as Semantics kind of hold it well, they could burn off a lot of time bank for No Snakes given, or potentially just full hold. And that's what Semantics are really looking for. They need to get this full hold here to confirm the series for them. They will both sides. And Mike Guy getting the charge onto Brain Dead. That is a beautiful first pick. Immortalities come out, and Raiden's taking so much damage, falls to Cool Tank, and this is just a very good push for No Snakes given. They knew exactly where to look. Snee now getting aggressive, and it's going to punish them as they get swung at by Mike Guy, and that is just going to be those remaining few players from Semantics finished off.
That was really, really well played there. They knew No Snakes, they were going to get walled. Nice little stagger onto Escape as well, but I mean, because of the new rules, I'm saying new, it's probably like 2 years ago this was changed, but they'll be able to respawn very quickly. That was really well played there by Mike Guy, surviving, but of course, Acorn Fan already with that amplification matrix, and that's purely because keeping Mike Guy alive is a job in and of itself, but it worked out. Now will they be taking high ground direct face on? It seems like they want to.
They're getting so aggressive so quickly, and Brain Dead falls again because of it. However, Cool Tank is gone. Fire Strike just takes out the immortality from Nebula. But looking at this amplification matrix from Acorn, it's going to keep the team alive. Not really bring through enough picks. Unfortunately, Baby falls. Deadeye on the high ground finishes off Nebula, and the Blizzard is going to make it really hard for Raiden to touch. They get frozen up. We now see Brain Dead coming through, and this is a really quick 1 tick. 2 ticks. They're gonna have to stall it. They're gonna have to play it really smart. But Acorn Fan just taking up Brain Dead, and that point is ticking away. Escape gets back on. Implication Matrix from Nebula. Shatter onto Escape only, but the immortality keeps them alive. Self-destruct from Escape doesn't connect onto much, but Sneak takes out Mike Guy, and now we are gonna see probably a 2CP moment, losing that Reinhardt, and now the D-Mech onto Sudden Night as well. Brain Dead punching Acorn into a wall, and yeah, that point is gonna be secured by Semantics.
Deja vu. Time to go. That was exactly the same. Oh, 2CP. I was about to say never change, but please change. In fact, delete. And they are. Thank you. I can't even say thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Aaron. Sudden Night does have the bomb. They'll be able to use that one next fight. Acorn Fan, of course, with the amplification matrix. That man's got on a 20-second cooldown, I swear. Cool Tank as well be able to beat really aggressively. Semantics, they don't really have anything to show for it. What was that bomb? That was moved away or something. Doesn't get much value.
Yeah, unfortunately the bomb didn't come through, and because of that, Raiden is just going to be getting these picks here. The push up on the high ground, it worked so well first time, but they responded very well. And now just a Meteor Strike trying to stop any stragglers from running away. Doesn't manage to get any kills.
No, it doesn't. I think, again, you pointed it out, the bomb was meant to make that space and force Semantics into an unfavorable position, but it didn't really work out. I don't know what happened. It kind of just gravity took hold. It was like, whoomp, down it went. Now, though, Mike Guy will have that shutter. They'll be able to use that as they push up. Nebulous, though, however, going to be really careful of the amplification matrix from Semantics.
And Raiden is just responding to Mike Guy every time now, making it really hard. Sound barrier coming up by Cool Tank, giving a lot of shields, but not enough to keep Sudden Night alive, as Sudden Night is just alone on point, getting taken out. Marnie now dropping down, and this fight is pretty much lost. Cool Tank just jumping around, going zip-zap-zop on that point. Doesn't survive.
No, and I mean, look, you've still got 3 minutes remaining, so you shouldn't rush. You've still got that time. Might Guy does have that shadow, but like you keep saying, Raiden has just been reading Might Guy like a book. Every time he comes in, just charging him left, right, and center. And of course, Raiden's got a shadow of his own. Snee as well. I mean, there hasn't been a high noon where it hasn't really developed into a kill this entire matchup. So that will probably come into a huge play, especially when you combined it with someone like Escape's bomb, which might come into the back line.
Now, this is important because they want to try and get this with a minute so they don't have to. They just want to be able to get 1 tick, and that shatter onto Escape killing them gives a lot of value. That whole team just collapses.
There we go.
I guess
you
that's
wanted it. Oh, you have it in 2 minutes, Sapara. Damn, you're so needy, honestly.
Sorry, I didn't realize I demanded so much, but now no sticks given. They get what they desire of being able to try and just cap it with 1 tick.
Yeah, no, now they only have that 1 tick to hold, and defense is hard. These guys just can't hold the first point very well to save their lives, so Semantics are going to have to think and dig deep to see what they can come up with to hold this. I did like the May Walls. It's just, unfortunately, No Snakes Given's May Walls were just that little bit better, especially that immortality field off Acorn Fan, as it's been absolutely monstrous keeping Might Guy alive here. It seems that we are just going to go that same matchup, which is fair enough, but they are going to have to change up their strategy a little bit, as clearly No Snakes Given, they know the game plan of Semantics. I mean, it's typical. It's not exactly unique of as soon as Reinhardt pushes in, you just wall him and then kill him. So everyone's going to be really, really clumped together, and No Snakes clearly knew that on their first attack, and that's how it was just so brutal and just dismantled Semantics in their first aggression.
Yeah, I think Semantics, they really need to just figure out some way to make sure the same thing doesn't reoccur, but realistically, no stakes given. They can't do the same strat because theoretically, Semantics should know the exact semantics that's going to happen and be able to shut it down. That's kind of what they're looking for here. Mike Guy pushes in. Maywall doesn't really connect onto too much. However, Mike Guy tries to charge through. Immortality just keeps him alive. And Raiden is the first one to fall once again. And we are seeing a bit of deja vu. Brain Dead now getting taken out by Marnie. And there goes Nebula as well. And that point is looking very juicy and open to start ticking away and get that one tick and take us to a 5th map.
It's real. Let's go.
Yeah. Look at that. No snakes given. Out comes an amplification matrix just to show us once again they built it up.
Yeah, the
so
Acorn fans on a
quickly.
20-second cooldown. What the hell?
Oh my gosh.
Wow, GMs indeed are going off in chat, and well deserved as well. These teams are so evenly matched, Apara. I love it. They got tooth and nail, four maps down, 2 apiece. And look at that Might Guy, only alive thanks to a beautiful immortality field. Nothing else is keeping him alive. Still swinging away.
Dare I say, whenever we cast, we get these wonderful maps that go all the way to 5 every time, and it's such a good show, you know. Semantics, they looked devastating at the
You're
start.
welcome, chat. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. You like crowd applause sound effect.
More content. But yeah, I'm just so amazed. No stakes given. They managed to figure out like where they were going wrong. They really just kind of put their heads together. They really were able to just make it work, and they brought us to a 5th map here, which is going to be Control.
Yeah, so they've got the choice of Nepal or Oasis, and when I say they, I mean Semantics do. I was going to break it down of Nepal or Oasis, but it seems like they're already jumping into Oasis. They want to play it, and this is really even now. I'm not going to lie. Like, I would say that Nepal, from what we've seen from Semantics, might work a little bit better. It's a lot more brawly sort of style of points. Whereas when you think of a lot of Oasis points, except the one in, alright, here we go, Apara, University, I believe it is, where it's really brawly. Other than that, though, you can dive. You can always dive onto that high ground of gardens, as well as, yeah, I was trying to think of the other map off the top of my head. Anyway, this photo really struggled. City Center, my man. Yes.
Hey, there we go.
Clap sound effects. Cute. But this is where you can get Might Guy and Sudden Night. We saw how good they were on Junkertown. So if they can just release the inner monkey dive again, especially with Marnie backing them up, it's going to be pretty brutal. But Semantics, though, they will be going to the first one, which is University, very brawly. So we're expecting probably the same sort of echo comps that we've been seeing throughout this matchup of that brawl style. And again, I'm sounding like a broken record here, but it's all down to those Maywalls, and we saw that in Hanamura of whichever Maywall was bigger got that Reinhardt down. But even when it was, again, I have to contradict myself when it comes to Acorn Fan, who's been doing a spectacular job with those immortality fields, just saving Might Guy on like 50 HP and a dream.
Yeah, I mean, Acorn Fan really, like, I think I need to get in a call with them and just learn how to play Baptiste at this rate, because they're showing us a beautiful showing of Baptiste right now. So I'm really enjoying it. I think that the one thing I always mention is we've seen Control, we've seen Lijiang Tower, and Semantics took it. So technically, this point technically is in Semantics' favor, purely just because we saw them win Control. But we've seen no snakes given. They've gotten together. They've gotten over their first few hiccups. They've warmed up.
Everyone needs 2 warm-up maps, right?
Exactly.
Legacy Pro will be going on to that Reaper, however, but they're kind of a little bit jammed up, no snakes. They're going to try take a little bit of a different angle, and by that I just mean retreat.
Yeah, right back to spawn, guys. You know what? Let's just start again. You know, new map.
Rewind. Reset map. I had my eyes closed when I went out of spawn. Whoops. Hands off keyboard.
I guess it was just that DMEC from Sudden Night. They didn't want to take it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they just realized that if they pushed through that, they had the Maywall of Brain Dead to contend with, and that's just impossible. Whereas when you're coming from perhaps a different... Oh, although having said that, Might Guy, my goodness, is getting beaten around. Still alive, though, because Immortality Field on the edge does get taken out.
Oh, Brain Dead does manage to find them. The immortality can't last long enough to keep Might Guy alive. And now Divas are standing on top of each other's heads, and Sudden Knight is the one that's going to fall because of it. Cool Tank and Marnie now all that remain, and Cool Tank just jumps off to reset.
It's going to be very hard. I think you've got to kind of echo/dry fight this next one. If you're No Snakes, Raiden already, of course, swinging away, has that shatter on the download. And Nebulous now has actually beaten Acorn Fan to the amplification matrix. So they've popped it instantly. And of course, why wouldn't you? But this wraparound has been so extreme. And the shatter, though, might actually be able to come back.
That shadow was huge coming out from Raiden. They may have managed to avoid the amplification matrix, but they didn't avoid Raiden's shatter. However, amplification matrix from Acorn Fan's going to come out, and Acorn Fan's got much better positioning. Blizzard gets eaten by Escape, and so Marnie not going to get any freezing going on point, and there is going to be a hold by Semantics, and they are looking very solid here on this control.
Yeah, I mean, Oasis is known to be quite hard to take once you've lost any of its controls. And you can see why, especially with the Mei and blocking everybody off. And so much for the dry push. They used almost everything No Snakes and didn't get any value. Cool Tank, however, is coming up with that beat. Might Guy with that shatter. Although, you got to watch out for Brain Dead and Sneed. DPS ults and the bomb coming out.
Oh, Deadeye takes out two! My God, Legacy are gone! Raiden finding Marnie as well, and Sneed just finishing off these remaining players, Blizzard, to make sure they can't run away. There is no escape from Semantics right now, apart from the player escape themselves.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful for Semantics. Really beautiful, but again, we knew this was going to be hard and a big uphill battle from No Snakes. It just wasn't really their comfort. Winston just flat out doesn't work on there, on that map, and it's quite hard to do anything sort of out of the ordinary there. You got to go through 2 chokes or nowhere else. And they tried. You saw a beautiful little wraparound at one point from No Snakes, but just got instantly removed by a Blizzard and by a bomb, just completely blocking out No Snakes there. Now they're coming out, though. It's a match point if you're Semantics here, but No Snakes, they're not going to give up without a fight. They will run exactly the same comp, though. Snee and Brain Dead, however, they're going to go on the Tracer and 76, however. Once they've got that high ground, especially for Brain Dead, it's going to be very hard to get them off.
Escape just manages to get away from Marnie's freeze, and it's going to be hard for the Tracer to get value. You mentioned it before that it's hard to get value on Tracer against some of these players. However, Sneed does take out Might Guy and Brain Dead, finishing off Legacy Pro as well. Brain Dead getting real aggressive onto Marnie now, and Semantics are looking good once again, just confirming this point pretty quickly.
Hi, I'm surprised we don't dive here, No Snakes. Now they switch up, and I agree with the switch up, but I think it was too little too late there. You've got Acorn Fan onto that Ana, hoping for those bio-nades, and hoping, I should just be saying, they're coming. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't just lead out with it, especially against like someone like a 76 now. You don't have to worry about being frozen or being stunned. Massive bio-nade, that is Brig on about 1 HP there, going down, Legacy Pro.
Legacy just knew where the anti-nade was, uppercut of Raiden, punched Baby into a wall, and she felt that, that's for sure, getting sent all the way back to spawn, and this is going to now start the tick over for No Snakes Given, and like, you know what, you said it was too late, but realistically it's not too late if it's not 100%, so they managed to get this tick over, and we do see Semantics get 45%, but I think that worked well for No Snakes Given.
They're going straight into it. They haven't stopped.
Yeah.
Raiden's on the point again, trying to perhaps just build up his flux a little bit more. Another thing as well, Escape towards the end of that fight did use mines. I want to point out really quickly, they do have Zen Brig, which is very hard against someone like a Dive. If you can get with the one person, it's very hard to keep them alive. Anyway, here comes the Flux onto the high ground. I don't think it catches anybody though.
No, so unfortunate. However, the Pulse Bomb and Pile Driver, they find the supports. No supports left and no snakes given is going to make it really hard. The Nano did get on to Mike Guy there, however, and Marnie's going to put in a bit of work with some Pulse Bombs, but it's not enough if Semantics do take out the remaining players of No Snakes Given.
They've almost evened up the percentages here, Para, and now Sudden Night will have the bomb from No Snakes. On the other side, though, Brain Dead, we've seen he's a really good soldier, especially once he's got that high ground, now has that tack vibe, so they're going to be really careful here. If you were No Snakes, you'd probably just want to... Oh, okay, never mind. I was about to say take out a support. Why not just take out a tank?
There goes the support as well. Baby falling to Mike Guy. We do have Attack Visor down in the backline, finishing off Legacy Pro, but Nebula and Brain Dead fall, and that's just going to be another sort of back and forth cap process right now. Both tanks trying to get a last minute touch, but they just don't manage to. Sudden Night taking out Raiden and Escape getting away.
You're sitting pretty at the moment if you're No Snakes. Got quite a number of ults. Acorn Fan almost got that nano, and probably if you do a little bit of slight feeding of Might Guy and just building up that nano even faster. On the other side though, Raiden and his Flux, he's got to come back. His last one didn't get anybody. You've got to just pick up at least one, like Acorn Fan or Cool Tank. Now here comes the Briggs, both sides.
Self-destruct from Sudden Night. Unfortunately doesn't connect onto much. Legacy Pro trying to find a target to punch, but doesn't manage to. Raiden's Flux wasn't really successful as well, but Escape now finding a bit of success taking out Cool Tank. Meteor Strike though taking out Nebula. However, No Snakes have no supports left. Pulse Bomb from Marnie. Marnie taking out two, and No Snakes, they might not need the supports as Legacy Pro is going to punch an uppercut Brain Dead here. Now we've got a Primal Raging Mike Guy finishing off Baby, and it's the last second for Semantics.
It is. It's 5 seconds remaining. Can they even touch? I don't think so. You've got Escape on the ball, who's just going to barely touch. But even then, Sneak falling really low. In fact, he's died. And now the minefields have come up. It actually does get Legacy Pro, though, Marine, to even it up.
Yeah, but we do see Brain Dead and Raiden are falling. Escape struggling to keep this point live right now. Really just hoping that someone can find a little bit of value, as now all that it is Snee, but... Oh, they do manage to get the touch. Snee does get the touch. Throws a Pulse Bomb out. Doesn't get...
Acorn Fan's like, no way, our point. Thank you. Goodbye. Can we have that sound effect applause, please? Yeah, woo, yeah, 1-to-1. Right down to the line. We're seeing every map today. Oh,
wow.
Goodness. And this one, City Center, this could, I mean, obviously this is it, but Might Guy, please, No Snakes, stick on that dive. Semantics, they might have to reconsider what they played there. You had Raiden on, the Flux guy. Oh my goodness. Sigma Flux guy, Sigma the whole way, and didn't really get much value. I'm sorry, Apara, but I don't think Sigma was the play there. Always just got kind of stuck out in the middle like a sore thumb, and Might Guy, as ever, wanted to heal their sore thumb by sending them back to spawn. And yeah, because of that, not much value there from the tanks. I mean, Escape tried their best. You now got Snee, however, they will be on that Sombra looking for the manual hacks on Sudden Night or Might Guy as they go to dive in. They've also got Brain Dead, so it's going to be very hard for the dive. So they're going full counter dive, very broadly.
Really trying to shut it down. Legacy Pro getting dived himself though, but Mike Guy does manage to find Baby in the process. Marnie getting up in behind, trying to take out Brain Dead. Brain Dead looking directly at Mike Guy, however, they do fall. Brain Dead getting taken out by Mike Guy themselves, so that is going to be just a full collapse of Semantics, and looks pretty good for No Snakes Given.
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, he had quite a pinch maneuver from Might Guy and the rest of his team, either side of Semantics, and because of that, Snee had to translocate out of that fight, and Brain Dead was looking left, right, and center, trying to see anybody that can get much value onto. Semantics doing their great little reposition here. Forced off to the high ground though. Really well played there from Sudden Night.
Yeah, Sudden Night trying to keep this point live right now with the help of Might Guy just fighting on point. Meanwhile, it looks like the supports are just playing on that high ground, avoiding point. Might Guy getting the nano and a big pulse bomb, taking out two from Marnie. Marnie putting in a lot of work right now. Legacy Pro does find Raiden, and that is just once again going to be another full collapse of Semantics. And confirming more point percentage for No Snakes Given.
Money is popping off.
Yeah.
What was that? The double kill, especially onto Reaper as well, who usually is very hard to get a pulse bomb kill off. And a Lucio, who's, you know, equally as hard because he's speed boosting around as fast as anything. Legacy Pro now does have the high noon onto the high ground, so it's a high noon. And we've seen how much value that they can get. Had to drop, so it's now a low noon. So Raiden, though, does have the primal raise, disrupting that backline.
And we do see so much aggression pushing up. Primal Rage trying to push them onto the street. Acorn Fan, don't get hit by a car. Please, Acorn Fan, survive. They managed to dodge all the cars. They don't get Primal Rage, but they do get taken out by Snee. However, because of that fight, Sudden Knight and Marnie are able to put in a bit of work, and Snee's the one that gets pushed into a car. Oh my god, No Snakes Given. I think they might have just confirmed this first point, this first series for us.
I think they did. I don't even know if anyone can even touch, to be honest. You've got the Wrecking Ball coming up, 1% left. Beautiful high noon, instantly taking out Baby, who's kind of close to the beat, may I add. And I think this is it. I think the reverse sweep EMPs come out, but I don't really know. It's a hallelujah. There's the bomb coming, but instantly just blocked out. The remake kill from Escape, but I don't see how this can go in Semantics' favor.
Wow, No Snakes Given, really putting in the work. Raiden still wants to keep playing, but I don't think it's realistic anymore. No Snakes Given, putting on such a performance, and it is just a still no Death Blossom for you.
GG's.
No Snakes Given managed to reverse sweep through the series and take us all 3 points of Oasis as well. No Snakes Given, wow, what a performance.
What a performance from both teams there. Semantics were absolutely brutal on the first 2 maps, and then I think, I don't know, No Snakes Given just were like, yeah, we've had our 2 practice maps, had a bit of a shocker, but we're good now. And they're just able to completely roll, especially that last point there. Wasn't really much of anything from Semantics, and I think we called it there, Apara. They just needed the points where they could dive. Their dive was so much stronger than Semantics. Their communication of where and when they were going to dive. And of course, I mean, it goes without saying that my MVP, personally, is Acorn Fan. I might be very biased, but every time I saw them get huge value for their team.
Absolutely, the nanos onto Mike Guy. And I've got to also point out, Mike Guy was very good with the nano usage. Mike Guy jumped in, knew that primaling with nano isn't as much damage. However, it seemed like pretty much every time what they did, they got nano, they got up close and personal, they did as much damage as they could, and then when they were low, they would primal, or once the nano's over, they would primal, and just finish off that remaining damage. And so, I've got to give it to that duo, especially Acorn Fan and Mike Guy. They really put that reverse sweep a little bit on their backs.
And then, yeah, of course, and then Marnie, I can't go too much further without pointing out their Tracer, especially on Oasis, and Junkertown, especially. Just beautiful to watch. You know, the double pulse bomb, always in that kill feed as well. Semantics, though, they had some really good plays. You had Raiden, who was absolutely popping off, especially, and Hanamura there for a little, getting those huge shatters. Who can forget King's Row as well? Massive plays from him. Escape as well. We saw some really good Diva play and bombs, but then Sudden Knight started just poking their head up like, hi, I played Diva too, and got like a 5k on Junkertown as well.
Both teams played out of their minds and put on such a performance for us, and every player was just absolutely popping off throughout tonight so far. But we've seen one reverse sweep so far, but we still have another matchup, another series for you after a wee short break. We're going to be watching CatnOwl Fanclub versus Blood Orange. Our Div 3 game is going to be pretty fun. Put your brooms away. The reverse sweep is done. We're going on to game 2 very shortly.
Catch you then. Welcome back, everybody. We've just had an incredible match. Reverse sweep, no snakes given. Took out SGU Semantics, a beautiful 3-2. Now we're on to our second map, our Div 3 competition of CatnOwl Fanclub versus Blood Orange. Apara, let me just quickly run everybody through CatnOwl Fanclub. It is managed by Excel and captained by him as well. No coach as of yet, but the tanks, are Riptide with the main tank. His favorite is Demonke, and then you got Excel off-tanking Diva. We've seen some extraordinary Diva play so far, so it'll be great to keep it up at full pace. We've got Captain Sheeny will be playing the Flex. His favorite is the Bastion. Wonder if he'll be able to utilize the Bastion very much. We saw it a little bit on Junkertown earlier. We've got, I think that's ZSB on the hitscan DPS view tonight. On favorite is Tracer. Seeing low Tracer, lots of value and really, really good to watch. Then finally, keeping everybody alive will be Easy Clap on the main support. Favorite on the Brig, and then aim support for tonight for CatnOwl Fanclub will be Lucy Watch, and their favorite is the Baptiste. A little bit of info will be they've been together for about 2 months, so some really good communication should be coming out from them. We've got Axel, played in Contenders in 2018 Season 3 Trials. A bit washed up though, apparently. Members of the team are playing on 100 to 200 ping, since some of them are in Singapore. Oh my goodness. And then wide SR range, they've got some plat all the way up to GM. And finally, the people to look out for on that team, Excel, the Diva main, and then Easy Claps, a 4.3 flanking Brig. So that would be great to see some Brig action.
Yeah, and their opponents for the night are Blood Orange, managed by Ezra, and their captain is Cone. They've got a pretty fun lineup for us today. The main tank is going to be JJ Afro. Also, their favorite hero is also Winston. On top of that, NOE coming in on the off-tank. Their favorite hero is also Diva. So we've got a bit of a matchup there. Main tank, off-tank liking it. Swag, they are their flex DPS, and she likes the hero Echo, so a little bit different to the Bastion. That's actually the only difference in favorite heroes, as Azera loves Tracer, the hitscan DPS. Yep. Vuvuzela, she likes the Baptiste, main support. The Brig, the main support. She's rocking that Brig. And then Sports Kid, the aim support, likes Baptiste. So we might be seeing quite a bit of mirror comp. Maybe the only difference is a little bit of DPS.
Bastion v Echo.
Yeah,
what a
interesting
matchup.
That could be a bit of fun. A little bit of info on Blood Orange. They were only formed a few weeks ago. They all share each other's deepest, darkest secrets, and that's why they're so synergistic. And it looks like Swag is going to be one of the people to watch out for on Hanzo, Sports Kid on BAP. And apparently, it's a special someone's birthday today. Apparently, Cheerborn's birthday is today, the day of the stream. So shout out to Cheerborn. I just saw that.
Cheerborn, happy birthday, Cheerborn.
Happy birthday, Cheerborn. We love and appreciate you. How did you get that into a stream? Okay, start the game. Start the
Just go.
Just a reminder to everyone out there, our map pool is going to be exactly the same as last time, but if you weren't here, just so you're aware, we're starting on Lijiang Tower, moving into hybrid of Hollywood, Blizzard World, or Kings Row, losers pick. We've got the next map, Payload map, which will be Junkertown, Watchpoint, Gibraltar, or Dorado. Our assault, if we need it, which we so commonly do, is Temple of Anubis, Hanamura, or Volskaya, and we've got Nepal slash Oasis as one of our control maps if we need to, and Ilios if we desperately need a tiebreaker. Fortunately, we've never gotten that deep, and just a reminder, you can predict on the teams as well.
Yeah, I mean, knowing Knowing our luck, though, there might be a reverse of the reverse sweep. You know, that broom will be snapped in two by the end of it. We'll be walking out like, oh my gosh, are you serious?
That broom will be our walking stick.
Oh, turn from a reverse sweep to a reverse hobble. So
Yeah.
Lijiang Tower, we've got Div 3. I mean, you pointed this out. A lot of dive. We'll probably be seeing a lot of dive. And the higher up you've sort of watched the matches and like the sort of Div 1, Div 2, you have been seeing quite a lot of that Winnie dive. And if Winston's not involved, usually you get that ball diva. And that's simply because there's, you know, Trace is quite strong at the moment. You can get that Echo into the fold, which we saw was somebody's favorite character. And then, I mean, of course, yeah, like I said, Tracer. We're going to see quite a lot of Tracer if these Winstons come out. They made a huge difference in the last game of Para, and I don't see why that will change.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be pretty interesting to see. I mean, they both like the Winston. I don't think it'll not come out. Surely you have to. So seeing Tracer to counter it, maybe a bit of Reaper, maybe a bit of even just like maybe the Echo. The Echo can get a few good sticky bombs. So we'll see what fully comes out. But I think you're right in saying Tracer is going to be the pick.
Yeah, if you see a sim, we might see them TPing to point, or they'll just TP out of the spawn and then immediately switch off to Tracer just to give that little bit of a boost. Both DPS of both teams will be going onto that sim at least initially. Depending on how they're going to utilize the sim remains to be seen, of course. But sim is really strong at the moment, honestly, Apara, and there's no reason to not keep running it. We will be seeing a ball from CatnOwl, but a Reinhardt from Blood Orange. So it's going to be a little bit of that brawl action compared to getting those cheeky picks and really poking them out like on the other team. Spur will be going onto the Tracer instead. Immediately TP, though, onto point. And that's Blood Orange with an immediate positional advantage if you're looking for the point.
Yeah, and that's going to be the difference in this fight. We're going to see Fanclub try to push in onto point, whilst Blood Orange are going to have such a good defense held up that even the likes of ZSB is going to struggle to push in here. ZSB off the map somehow. I can't see how that happened apart from a potential mistake coming through. Wrecking Bull swinging along, but with those picks onto Exile and ZSB, that point is going to go the way of Blood Orange.
That was really well played there by Blood Orange, immediately getting that good positional advantage. Unfortunately, CatnOwl just couldn't get the picks desired, especially with Lucy Watch basically bodied out of that fight, so you couldn't really get any of those discords. Easy Clap immediately switching over to the Baptiste, who we got to know and very much love in our last game. So be keeping Exile alive a little bit further. They're going to dive on point, but to be honest, they're all so low.
Yeah, that dive wasn't capable of getting much value because so much damage came out here. But a big mine onto point. Photon Barrier comes through to keep this minefield not getting as much value as required, but with Azera falling in, Lucy and ZSB getting the picks here. That's the perfect dive that you're looking for as the remaining stragglers of Blood Orange collapse, and this point goes the way of CatnOwl Fanclub.
There's only so much JJ, the Reinhardt from Blood Orange, can block the poor guy. He was looking left and right like, where? They're just coming from everywhere, and that's exactly how you want to play that comp from CatnOwl. Beautiful EMP. I mean, what can you do once all of your abilities are down on that team? You know, you don't have any of that sound barrier built up at all during that whole exchange either. Pulse Bomb from Zezabur coming out. Lucy Watch for the first pick. We'll have to trance though.
Yeah, Trance comes out, keeps people alive through that blizzard that came out by Swag, and unfortunately Swag fell, and JJ Afro going as well as Zera now taken out, and that is just going to be another complete takeout of Blood Orange.
Yeah, and now you're ticking up to where the ultimates really start flowing in. Blood Orange now has the Shatter as well as the bomb that will come out. You've got the Lucio beat as well, that maybe you just engage or you have to then keep it. But that's a Shatter, but I don't know if it's really good enough. It does take out the ball, however.
The self-destruct comes out, but it does get shut down by an immortality. However, this is looking good for Blood Orange as they are taking that point advantage and they do get the flip over. Now, Easy Clap is just trying to keep Exile alive here. Lucy Watch is trying to keep Exile alive here. They're able to push in aggressively. Konoid gets pile driven by Riptide, and a sound barrier comes out to keep Blood Orange in this fight. But Easy Cap and Lucy Watch, they don't care about a sound barriers. That bomb from Sheeny removes any remaining shields. That EMP is just so good. And now we're just seeing JJ Afro dancing around in a circle once again.
Trying to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're on to not quite the last fight, certainly, but it is getting to that nail biter stage. Lucy Watch, again, has transcended. It's building it so fast. Discords have been really sublime so far. But Blood Orange, they do have the high noons. Will it be as big as we saw last map? Nice little Maywall will get a couple of them, but Riptide's still alive.
With all those mines in that close quarters, it gives Riptide so much value to just spin in that circle. And Blizzard comes out, doesn't really get kills. However, Exile is going to be putting a bit of value through there. Exile taking out JJ Afro, and this point is ticking away with no one able to touch. Vuvuzela desperately trying to get across, but cannot, as first point of Lijiang is going to go to CatnOwl Fanclub.
Yeah, CatnOwl Fanclub, as soon as they had that point, they played that composition beautifully. You had the Ball and Diva diving together. You always had the tracer of ZSB, ZSB probably, not, I just want to say ZSB. Can I just say ZSB? Anyway, ZSB was always on top of Vuvuzela, as well as, just really annoying the likes of Swag as well, just making sure that their presence was basically known all the time. They're now going to go to the Sim, CatnOwl, either just out of spawn and then quickly go to the Tracer like we saw last time, or might stick on it because it is possible to definitely run that Sim, but with the composition that they want to run, they more likely just want to dive in, but again, a little bit more brawly than otherwise Blood Orange want to, with Swag getting the first pick onto Lucy Watch. It's a lot of heals.
Easy Clap gets the boop onto Sports Kid. That is going to make it so hard for Blood Orange right now. Easy Clap just saw the opportunity to get the boop onto Konoid as well. Easy Clap knows exactly where to go to play these boops, and I respect it massively as CatnOwl Fanclub are going to confirm that first point to themselves.
It's going to be hard for CatnOwl to take out Blood Orange as far as Swag. They don't really have too much unless you can get a really lovely hack. There's nothing really, it's not even an Ana. Lucy Watch can try and right click, but other than that, I think if you're CatnOwl, they're doing exactly what they need to do. They're just going to rush in beautiful anti-nade onto the tanks though. This might actually take out Exel, who's about 1 HP, but he's still alive. He actually got out with his life, and ZSB takes out Swag who flies him.
Yeah, Swag committed that barrage. They do get res, but losing that barrage to his death is so scary. Vuvuzela taking out Easy Clap, though, a little bit of battle mercy. We love to see that self-destruct right over the bridge. Find Swag. Vuvuzela now taken out by Captain Sheeny, and this constant stagger and push in is going to make it really hard for Blood Orange to find any value. Just, yeah, I think you fall back and regroup.
Yeah, even with a nano, JJ knew not to push in. Swag though, that's a really nice pick. There's no res coming out either, and so close to EMP. If you can rush in as quickly as you can, especially with that pulse bomb, doesn't really get anything, but the bomb might.
Oh, we don't see anything coming through from both ults, but ZSB pops a Death Blossom. Once again, not finding anything. Riptide is the one that's going to find the kills, taking out 2. Exile finds Swag high in the sky, and ZSB getting up close to personal. Konoid off the map because of that DMAC, and this is looking a little bit similar to what we saw before, where Blood Orange, they just can't seem to get together and find any sort of points of access.
Yeah, maybe just some warm-up maps, you know? Because, again, this is basically CatnOwl's to win now. You've got the EMP. Gosh, that was close, though. You've got the EMP. You've got the beat as well from Easy Clap to fall back on here. And really, Blood Orange doesn't have too much. You've got to really hope that Swag gets a hallelujah kill. That's a huge EMP. Winston's going to get burnt down.
But the EMP does die with Swag getting good shots. Sound barrier comes on to keep the remaining players of Fanclub alive. And no, I'm joining the Fanclub. Swag shuts down the Fanclub as they take out 3. That is going to be the flip to Blood Orange. And now just Riptide primaling alone on point.
you can bet on it that they've now got point control. Blood Orange as it's finally ticking up. I mean, look, I cast a Curse CatnOwl there big time. But Blood Orange, really, really well played there. Swag getting a 3k. But yeah, JJ and Conioid, they now have their 10 goals. That's a beautiful boob. That is a Lucy Watch off the edge as well as the Sombra that is gone.
JJ Jordan, them jumping off the map.
Chat,
Yeah.
07 chat, 07 goes down. Beautiful. But now you've got those ticks, you've got the momentum back in your field, and Captain wasn't even able to get any of that EMP up, really. That's only 30% now. ZSB, you've got to be very careful of that Death Blossom, though. It can be eaten up by Conioid, but they're going to have to be super duper careful. As we saw last time, the Death Blossom can just tear through teams.
And it looks like these monkeys are starting to battle it out. Coalescence trying to keep the team alive, but a self-destruct finds Easy Clap. Death Blossom from ZSB has finished off Konoid though. Another Rocket Barrage doesn't really connect onto much, but with Riptide dying to a jump from JJ Afro, it's going to be yet another push from the Fan Club that's not going to work out. ZSB does take JJ Afro out on the runaway, but doesn't manage to win the fight.
No, and now you're getting to 80% final fight territory. JJ will be back a little bit later, but I don't think that really matters as they are going to take their time and put all the eggs into this. Oh, no, it's a bait and switch. They're actually going to go over the bridge instead. I thought they were going to go to White Room. Here comes the bomb, though. Apparently, will it get anybody? It gets a 3K.
Bomb getting 3 Exile, opening this up for the Fan Club. I'm going to join the Fan Club if plays like this keep occurring. Pulse Bomb by Azera to keep the fight alive, and Riptide falls as well, but there's only 2 players left, and this flip is going to go the way of Fan Club. It's going to be up to Vuvuzela to get the touch with Swag up in close and personal. Rocket Barrage gets eaten up by the defense matrix, and ZSB gets the kill because of it. Now we just see Vuvuzela jumping around onto point, getting chased by Easy Clap. This Lucio battle is real, but now the remaining players of Blood Orange have returned. Coalescence and Sound Barrier comes out, both from Fan Club, really giving a lot of healing and life to the team. EMP as well means that Konoid is not going to play this game. Another Death Blossom from ZSB, and first point, Lijiang's Tower is going to Fan Club.
It was very close, down to the wire. Blood Orange almost had that there, but CatnOwl managed to scrape it back. Easy Clap. Here we see the double boop, I reckon. Like, has to be, right? It was a beautiful double boop. Ana went down and then got the baby diva on top of that. That was really well played there by CatnOwl. I mean, they did have to use all the 99%, but so did Blood Orange. It is very hard to take control centers, especially away from teams like this where they have so much of that stability, and they're just able to plant themselves there and just, you come to us. But in the end, CatnOwl Fan Club, I might have to, I'm more of a dog person, Apara, but I might have to change my allegiances now.
Yeah, I used to be a dog person as well until I moved into my
took an arrow to the knee.
Yeah, okay.
Well, a dog to the knee.
Old reference, oh my. But we're moving on to hybrid. We've got the option of Hollywood, Blizzard
Mixed up the balls.
Zero. What do you think we're gonna look at, Matt?
Well, so we've got hybrid. Hollywood, Blizzard World, or Kings Row? Kings Row, please. Probably highly likely. Again, Dive can just work on Kings Row, but again, it can work on Hollywood and even Blizzard World. Why not, though? Just take us back to our lovely, quaint little English village / city / monstrosity of a place.
You call that a village? Oh my god, what are your cities like?
Dude, my cities are hackers.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they're next level. Just get on my level, dude.
I guess I should, yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
It looks like we are going to move to Kings Row. It's decided by Blood Orange that they want to run Kings Row. Classic, everyone knows Kings Row. Everyone's used to Kings Row. I think if you're not screaming on King's Row, what are you doing at this point? So, I think...
What are you doing with your life? Please, reevaluate.
Yeah, exactly
please,
right.
please kindly adjust, as Symmetra would say.
No, I think we've seen it. It's pretty close, you know.
Oh,
Fanclub were a little bit more dominant, but Blood Orange definitely held their own in this fight. So King's Row could show us whether it is going to be a super close series once again, or whether we are going to be whether we're going to be seeing maybe a bit more dominant performance.
So the differences between these two teams so far is that when they dive, it's not like the traditional, how we would put it, in quotes, traditional dive that we saw from the previous teams. It's now a lot more brawly. Like, you have the Winston and Diva, yes, but then you have the Reaper mixed in. And that's simply because it's so that if the Winston dives on your team, you can just absolutely burst them down. Some teams are rolling out here. We have Riptide and Exel. They'll be rolling with the Ball Sigma. That is a really interesting pick there, but they do like to play that more split up style. You've got Overclock on that Zenyatta. Why I'm pointing them out is simply because of those Discords are going to be huge for SEB and Captain to be able to get those headshots and change the tide of battle at any point in time. However, Blood Orange, a lot more traditional to what we're used to and what we've seen earlier tonight. And we are going to see quite a brawl. So if they can sit on the point, and I don't know, who do you wall off here? It's less of a wall and more of a stall if you're, just freeze up Riptide or freeze up Exel before they can really get much value.
Now, this is interesting. On our last series, we saw the rotations coming through. Blood Orange, they look like they're opting just straight to point, and Azera taking out ZSB early. That is going to make it really hard for Fanclub to try and keep this fight live here. Diva getting up close and personal with Captain Sheeny and Overclock, but Riptide is going to be the one that's going to be trying to keep this point alive, as one tick has already gone the way of Blood Orange. JJ Afro just holding that shield, but falls so quickly once that shield broke. Devastation from Overclock, and now it looks like Fanclub, they're going to get up close and personal, but Azera doesn't care. Azera taking names, 2 to the board right now. Azera, can you get a third, or is it going to come down to the remaining players of Blood Orange? As Exile does take out Vuvuzela, and it looks like Blood Orange starting to come back. We got an application matrix from Sports Kid up on the statue. Interesting location, and it worked out really well, as that point does go the way of Blood Orange.
I mean, because Sports Kid was up there, just able to heal the absolute beats out of JJ and Conioid, and because of that, able to push forward. And the survivability was the key there. You've got the likes of, the boost to the rest of the team for Vuvuzela, whereas when you're Overclock, you can only do that selective target healing. It's all down to Easy Clap. Sports Kid as well, amplification matrix already, whereas Easy Clap is lagging a little bit behind, which is to be expected. It's not a Reinhardt where you're constantly brawling and healing away, and then it's Riptide as well, who's pretty self-reliant on his own health packs. Mine's on card though, instantly removed. Oh my goodness.
Swag and Azera are just devastating on this DPS right now, and a good Maywall as well has put Sheeny into an awkward location. Swag finding the kill onto that, and this is just giving the payload so much space to continue pushing up. JJ getting aggressive, but Easy Clap does manage to jump over the Fire Strike. Amplification Matrix comes out, but the Blizzard is going to make it get no value, as well as a Transcendence that's only there to stall the point.
They're staggering so badly here. Now you're going to have Zen down, just getting taken out. You're just going to have to give up the point. That will be about 5.5 minutes here if the ball can't contest for pretty much ever. Beautiful Maywall as well. It just blocks out any sort of contestant. Nice pulse bomb though. It's actually winnable here.
And out comes the self-destruct, however, taking out Riptide, and once again just giving so much room for Blood Orange to get aggressive and push up. Vuvuzela and JJ Afro taking out some players. I mean, Bob's not really a player, but they count as part of the team anyway. Captain
He's doing something. He's doing his best. You know what?
Yeah. Exactly right.
Justice for Bob.
Yeah.
Gotta give him that respect. No, they're playing excessively well here, Blood Orange, and now we're going on to the Orisa here, CatnOwl. Apara, are we going to see a little bit of a deja vu on the defense, since we've seen quite a lot of aggression from Blood Orange, although having said that, they are playing a lot more around carts. Vuvuzela, though, does have the beats. They might be able to just straight up engage. Beautiful Maywall almost catching out the Orisa.
Yeah, Riptide just getting her around, managing to fortify to just keep in this fight, but look how far this payload is pushed, 4 minutes 30 seconds as well. Sound barrier to give JJ Afro so much room to get so aggressive, and Riptide is just desperately trying to find a place of comfort that they're not managing to. Sports Kid taking out ZSB, and there goes Riptide as well. Amplification Matrix by Easy Clap is all that's going to be left to try and keep this point alive, but a blizzard from Swag, Sports Kid, and Azera are all very scary players right now.
4 minutes and 4 seconds too. You had Sports Kid on the high ground again, a solo amplification matrix, which there's nothing against that. You can do so much healing solo, especially when you got such good positioning like the high ground you can get on any point of King's Row. Maybe not so much on second, but once you're there, it's very hard to dislodge you, especially when you've got a Reinhardt just in your face, you know? And I don't know, we saw again the Orisa just not working out for those teams, and you see Blood Orange's strats just work out a little bit better than CatnOwl there, Apara. I mean, I don't want to say switch because that sort of composition that they're running, it can work really well on attack. You know, because you can really set up and communicate really, really well with such a dive. And it seems like they are going to dive. They're going to trade out the ball for a Winston instead. Who's their dive target here, Apara?
Probably Azera, I guess. Azera and Vuvuzela are probably the ones that you want to really dive, because that's going to be the ones that you get the most value in terms of easy kills. Swag and Sports Kid, they got a little bit more survivability, so that's probably what I'll be looking at. But I mean, realistically, if you can take out Sports Kid, that is a lot of healing removed.
Oh, yeah. Sports Kid's the golden child. Yeah, you take exactly them out, and the whole comp just crumbles. We're going to roll out with the more brawly style of dive like we've seen before. Captain as well will be looking for those hacks into the back line. Probably either on Swag or, I mean, probably the biggest one would probably be JJ, so he can't hold up that shield and just block all that poke. Here we go. Where's the first hack going on to? It seems to be like the Reinhardt, like I suggested, but Riptide does fall.
Riptide jumped high into the sky, and Konoid followed, flying right up behind ZSB, now taking out Vuvuzela, and that is going to be a defensive hold. They're opting to regroup, but because that Lucio's gone, they might be able to re-engage pretty quickly, and with Azera falling as well, there goes those 2 picks that I was talking about. It might open up an opportunity for Fanclub to get aggressive. You see them jumping onto JJ Afro, so much harassment, and JJ's falling so low, it's coming down to Sports Kid to keep them alive, but not able to capture. Sheedy comes through and takes 3.
That was very hard for JJ, just getting hacked and then just pressured from an angle that he couldn't touch. Excuse me, at all. And because of that, I mean, they just fell down like a house of cards. But now you do have the Blizzard. If they can get up and hold this first choke, this is really where you want to be. It's going to be very hard, though, to dislodge this Sombra, who's going to be constantly hacking. Although that was really, really well played, though, from Konioid. Just instantly making a translocate, but here comes, there's gonna be a lot of aggression to EMP.
Yeah, there's a lot coming out. EMP, Blizzard, Coalescence, and that fight is just as quickly done as it started, with Vuvuzela just getting taken down at the very end. Oh my god, they just threw everything they had on the table and said, I hope it's a full house.
And they were right, they were blindfolded too.
Yeah.
Around 3 times, blindfolded, they got, but yeah, no, yet they still had a full health. Next fight, they still have quite a lot of those ultimates. Even if you just get a hack onto the Diva, that's just enough for the Death Blossom to tear through, like we saw in Lijiang Tower. There it is! Instantly a hack, and now they're pushing in so hard without the DM. There's nothing much you can really do.
Did I? So many things just happened. A huge one from Konoid. ZSB getting the Death Blossom with 2, and Riptide now primaling onto Vuvuzela. This could still be really good for Fanclub, even though there was a really big bomb from Konoid. This point can keep pushing because it's just Swag that's going to be stalling it out. Azera trying to come back quickly. Point just doesn't get capped, and it does come back just at the last second for Blood Orange.
It's a pretty good place to hold, but again, because of the way that the CatnOwl are holding, it's quite hard to, really knuckle down and stop Captain. They're going to be on the high ground or behind you, So it's all up to Konioid to poke out that Sombra as quickly as you can, especially when you don't have too many ults to fall back on. The supports are the closest, followed by the high noon of Azera. It's all down to this, though, as we see we might see another bomb.
Oh, that's such a good sound barrier coming through. That's going to give so much aggression. I love that. A bomb coming out as well. Exile doesn't connect onto too much, unfortunately. And now we see the Blizzard coming out from Swag. But ZSB and Exile are getting those kills. I'm loving that. Oh, but the Deadeye does take out ZSB. It's so back and forth once again. But this time it's favoring the Fanclub as they are just managing to find Sports Kid as the last pick. And they do get that point with 4 minutes, 23 seconds.
I love these different comps, but defense is really hard, especially when you're a Reinhardt up against the hacks and then ZSB, who's now going on to the oh no, sorry, that was Swag. My apologies. Swag has switched off to the Reaper just to make sure that Riptide just doesn't get into the backline for free. They're going so aggressive, huge EMP, my goodness.
EMP onto 4 and the boop onto JJ Afro. Coalescence taking out the Immortality with the help of ZSB, and ZSB now finding Azera. Primal Rage onto the high ground, chasing down Sports Kid, and I guess you gotta start practicing a little bit more track, Sports Kid, to run away from that angry monkey.
Just duck and weave, duck and weave.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much final fight here, Blood Orange. They cannot afford to lose anybody. Vuvuzela, that's a huge pick onto Riptide. That's so much aggression. They're gonna give it right back to him. Oh my
Easy
God,
clap boops with Vuvuzela. It's not very often you see a boop here, but I love when it happens. Death Blossom doesn't get onto much, but an Immortality up, but the Deadeye and Azera is going to put in a lot of work here. Overclock is all that's really left with Easy Clap. Self-destruct getting forced out. Remake kill, but Sports Kid finishes off Easy Clap, actually.
So 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Captain about 60% to that EMP, which they've been playing a lot of. And pretty much instantly winning the fight. So you've really got to think, okay, obviously in the next 3 minutes there's going to be an EMP. Blood Orange, how are we going to counter it? You know, you have to get beat either as fast as possible or split a lot more than they are. I mean, I know it's unfortunate, especially the team comp that they're playing. It's it's going to be devastating if Captain can get a huge EMP onto a lot of them as Coalescence again just burns down JJ and the EMP.
The EMP onto 3, ZSB taking out Sports Kid in the process, and now it's just Vuvuzela really low on the point. We got Konoid trying to just stall this point out, get as much time bank off as possible. In comes JJ Afro, but doesn't manage to get the touch as they get booped away.
Okay, so they still burnt off 2 minutes, Blood Orange there. But they're going to have to think now, okay, obviously we're going to go into another round. Again, it goes back to this Sombra. It's been so detrimental to their defenses, and they're only holding so far as when Captain gets another EMP. So it's like Vuvuzela is going to have to hold beat and then hide for the EMP, only then to beat on top of it. Because obviously if you beat before the EMP just completely diminishes shields. So there's no use of it. Another way I suppose you could do it is, it's a lot for one Immortality field, but just emo the Reinhardt or something like that as the EMPs. You know, you'd have to be hiding as a Baptiste, of course. So it's all down to the support and sort of their positioning here, because we're going to get another attack from CatnOwl, and yeah, so far Captain's just been so good and so detrimental to Blood Orange, especially to JJ and Konioid, who they want to be facing forward. They want to be facing into Riptide and Exile, but and especially to ZSB, you know, Reaper, LMAO, just shoot. But instead they're forced to look behind towards Captain to stop the hacks, to stop the, you know. So, I don't know, Torbjorn perhaps? And they have. Swag onto the Torbjorn. It's going to be a lot hard to get those hacks.
Yeah, really good choice there, actually, with the turret being able to find any sort of flanking targets, and then, yeah, the turret can shoot whilst hack is coming out. Easy Clap trying to boot JJ Afro into the team, trying to just get an early pick onto JJ Afro. Unfortunately, didn't manage to work out just like they wanted. Now, wrapping through the hotel, once again, just a quick restate. They found the turret now, and they know it exists. They take it out, but Konoid does take out Riptide, and with that death from Riptide on Fanclub, it's going to be really hard to get aggressive. Easy Clap falls to Azera, and now this point is going to... Oh, Oh, okay,
Skill orb,
overclock.
lol.
Yeah, little bit of a skill orb.
I mean, hopefully Vuvuzela will go back and just taxi as fast as possible because McCree isn't exactly the fastest of heroes out there, and you definitely need that stun to stop someone like ZSB from just pressing that W key. They're going to go in for another attack. Amplification Matrix does get popped. This could be really good against the Winston.
And yeah, that's going to shut down Riptide's push, but ZSB and Exile find a lot of players. They take out the supports, and Swag is falling now, and wow, that point just absolutely unlocked for Fanclub just in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, again, McCree just could not get back in time. I don't know if it would have changed too much, to be honest, but just having that flash and having that pressure onto them, you can see Captain's already pushed really, really far forward to try and build that EMP as fast as possible. ZSB as well, really close to that Death Blossoms. That's a pretty much automatic win if they can play their cards right. On the other side, Blood Orange, though, they do have the bomb coming from Codioid, as well as Azura, who will have the High Noon. But here comes the next dive, as well as the bomb.
There's a Death Blossom coming through as well, and ZSB does really good, taking out 2, finds a 0, and the end of the Death Blossom, getting a couple of good shotgun shots. And now we're at the point where we're in overtime. If anyone steps off this payload, it is going to be devastating for Fanclub. They need to try and win as many fights as possible and push this payload as far as they can.
I would say their key ultimate right now, Para, is Swag and the Molten Core. If you can, obviously you got to really be careful of Exel and the Diva DM, but if you can get that around the cart, yeah, it might not kill, but it puts enough pressure for, CatnOwl to actually have to commit brain space to it, but commit brain space to that Blood Orange. Oh,
that's
my goodness.
6-man EMP. No, it was 6. That was everyone.
It got, my apologies.
Absolutely everyone. A huge EMP. Exile taking out a turret, but I mean, that's just going to put so much pressure. The Molten Core gets eaten up mostly by the Defense Matrix and a sound barrier now to keep this team alive in the fight. They managed to get second point with Coalescence. They're just putting so much pressure onto Blood Orange. They're really struggling right now, JJ. Afro just trying to keep the shield up, and there's so much pressure coming through. Azera gets the Deadeye, takes out ZSB as well. Now it's going to open up from Blood Orange. They did get the second cap, but that's going to be where it stops at second point.
Okay. It's winnable for Blood Orange, but it's going to be tough. The thing that they have on their side is a lot of time. They have an extra 2 minutes, so they'll be able to strategize a lot more than CatnOwl were able to of how they're going to get the Reinhardt, which they seem to really like to play, into this sort of team, which probably going to see Captain go onto the Sombra again, just hacking away, especially on defense as well, where you can, place the Translocator wherever you want and just be an absolute nuisance to the back line. So it's all down. It's all down to this. JJ onto the Reinhardt. Exel will be back onto what we saw before, with the oh my goodness, the Sigma. I will get there eventually. It's only your favorite hero, Apara.
Exactly.
And then Riptide with the ball. Again, Ezra will be on the Widow, just starting. Won't have it for too much longer, but you never know. If you can get a pick onto the Zen, especially onto Easy Clap, that goes without saying, then that's just fight over and point just given up. ZSB as well, instead of going to the Reaper, will be going to the Trace. That will really help Captain in how they're going to play such a brutal backline sort of attack that we're seeing here, with Riptide, ZSB, and Captain all diving onto Lucio or Sports Kid.
Trying to get an early hack, doesn't really connect onto much, unfortunately, for Sheeny. And now Azera is going to get up close and personal. Yeah, they just have to recall. They take that and go all the way back. Riptide getting frozen up, however, that's going to be so devastating. Yep, Swag taking them out early. Azera taken out by Captain Sheeny, however, that might be good value, but the wall blocking off both supports. Really good play by Swag, and that's one tick already opened up for Blood Orange here, as they just want to try and get this as quickly as possible. Taking out Captain Sheeny here. But Exile and Overclock, they are putting in the work. They want to win this defense, and now with Riptide back on the Wrecking Ball, there is a chance. Boulder comes out, doesn't connect onto much, but Azera is falling low and has to run away.
You have to back up here, yeah.
Yeah, that's just going to be a regroup.
You're gonna have to back up here, but Swag, oh, there's the amplification matrix we've been seeing, but might just get bonked off here. Yeah, there we go. Riptide bonking him off. Won't get much value. Easy clap, however, will, taking out Swag. That's pretty much an instant reset unless they can get a big pick here. Hack onto Konioid as well won't help. But there you go, ZSB is down.
And Captain Sheeny now taking out JJ Afro. I think this is going to be the defense they're looking for. However, Sports Kid is not down and out just yet. Captain Sheeny does have the EMP. However, they could commit it if they feel like they need to, because this attack is still happening. Like, they're not opting for the regroup. They want to get this as quickly as possible. And it might be burning a time pick, but no, yep, Sports Kid and Swag getting those picks. Minefield now onto the point. JJ Afro is just going to swing that hammer around to break all the mines, getting thrown into some by Riptide, but finally taken out, and that is going to be that first point capture with 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, 2 minutes on streets. You have the EMP as well in your back pocket for CatnOwl. I mean, EMP Flux could end a fight. I mean, Flux in and of itself, especially when you're trying to push a cart in overtime, is just brutal. Especially when you can't get off it. Both support ults as well. So CatnOwl, I think if you're Blood Orange here, I know this sounds crazy, but it's almost like you want to force as many ults from them without using as many ults. But you might get, why I'm saying it's crazy is because you'll probably lose the fight. Here comes the Flux EMP. There, like I said, force them all the way back. Beautiful 5-man as well. They will get out with their lives, however, so it won't be too much in the form of staggering. So we'll probably be able to come back in with about a minute remaining. However, then it's all down to how well Blood Orange play. They do have all 6 ultimates though, Apara. So maybe we're looking for a shatter combo with a blizzard. Nice wall though, that gives a little bit of space.
Absolutely. Amplification Matrix comes out, breaks through the wall, and is going to pump a lot of damage and healing through. Nobody's on the payload right now, so it is kind of just sitting there waiting. Self-destruct comes out, Transcendence to try and keep anyone alive that's fighting on the point, but Riptide is going to be the one that falls in. There goes Easy Clap as well, and that's once again opening it up for Blood Orange. And I just want to pre-warn you, Pap, there is absolutely a chance that we could get a draw with the position of this payload. There is always an opportunity for a draw here.
Oh, 100%. There's no doubt about it. But that's a really big pick. JJ getting Exel. Oh, and there you go. He's not finished yet. My apologies. I stopped casting you. Riptide as well goes down. ZSB does have the pulse bomb. It's pretty much all down to the touches of ZSB. They're looking so strong, though. Konioid taking our captain. I don't think there's even going to be really much of a touch, especially with their feet. Apara kind of just seals the deal.
Yeah, it's going to be... That's pretty much confirmed going to be a cap. They just need to push it a couple of seconds, and that is going to be it. Blood Orange do manage to take it, and my gosh, that is going to be 1-1 so far, evening up the series.
Not quite the reverse sweep, so we can put the broom down, but a very close one, nevertheless. My goodness. It didn't look in Blood Orange's favor there for a second, especially how strong Captain was, but just... couldn't get as much value as he wanted to, especially, of course, on that defense. Always getting poked out. Very well played from Sports Kid, as well, of course, from Ezra, the McCree, because, the flash, always that chance. And then, of course, Konioid as well. In their face all the time, stopping those hacks. Just worked out a treat.
Yeah, it was a really good showing from Fanclub, but Blood Orange just managed to bring a little bit more aggression. I think having 6 ults under your belt really helps you push your payload through street space. And now it's going to come up to Fanclub to choose between Junkertown, Watchpoint Gibraltar, and Dorado.
Okay. Junkertown, poke. We haven't seen any poke from these guys. It's kind of possible to dive, especially if both teams opt to dive. But again, there's so much space. If the defense plays poke, you can really poke out that Winston, Ball, or Diva if you choose to, unless you've got really good communication. I'm sure these teams have. They did 3 for a reason, where you get the Tracer into the back line or something like that, and it's okay, 3, 2, 1. It's everybody on this Orisa or Sigma. However, if they go Watchpoint Gibraltar, that is full-on dive. Pretty much the whole way through, you can play that dive. That's one of the best Diva maps out there. And then Ball or Winston, depending on your style. That 100% works across the whole of the map. Dorado, a little bit, a touch more brawly, but that's not to say dive doesn't work. In fact, dive dive just works on Dorado as well, but you've got a little bit more of that low ground open, so you can play a little bit more of that Reinhardt. But why I say dive works, you've got that ledge, you've got that, you know, those buildings. I think I cast with you in that really interesting defense. We had that Torbjorn turret on the hard left-hand side. You can,
Yes.
you know, we've seen so many teams play this sort of style where all 6 members might be completely split off in the defense, but man, when they go in like from 6 different angles and just go on top of whoever they're diving. So we can see the CatnOwl they're able to do that, so they might pull that out.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always options. It looks like they're opting to go to Watchpoint Gibraltar. They've got a little bit of giving going on, which is going to be interesting to see. It's going to favor that dive, you know. It's got a lot of high ground, for instance, and divas to play around. And if they like that comp, you may as well find this the map that is going to suit your style strongest. We haven't seen Bastion come out yet. I do just want to point out.
Possibility, question mark?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
Fanclub.
I wouldn't say Watchpoint Gibraltar is the best pirate ship, but it's 100% a possibility. But again, you've always that dive you've got to watch out for, because there's so much high ground that just surround the payload as it moves forward. It's very easy for a team to sort of communicate and dive in on the Bastion. And again, why Bastion is hard to play with is basically if you play a Bastion, you have to work around the Bastion. There's no sort of, okay, Tracer, you go out in a little bit of a flank. It's like, no, we've all got to stick around this guy, keep this man alive throughout the whole thing. On the defense, it looks like we're going to rock the Torb and ZSB onto that Tracer. Of course, we're going to get a bit of a dive, although something we haven't seen today, Para. We've got a Zarya.
Yeah. Zarya finally coming out of their hiding hole, going for a bit of double bubble on the side of the defense, and could be good. You know, you can bubble those dive targets, and with well, it looks like Blood Orange is opting to run. That might be the right call. You know, call out, hey, I'm getting jumped, bubble me, please, and then keep that player alive long enough for that peel to come through.
Another way you could think of it as well is Riptide jumps in with a bubble from Zar.
Yeah.
And then that means when they die someone like Vuvuzela, they're able to stay alive even despite the bash, because obviously they're bubbled. Although, oh my lordy, that is a very quick pick onto from Azrael.
Yeah, Zera just taking out their Tracer counterpart here. Because of that, we're now seeing that dive come through. Echo, Diva, and Winston just jumping up to the high ground. Easy Clive and Lucy Watch both fall because of it. Zera now finding Riptide as well, and that's going to be a really good, easy first couple of kills. And a push from Blood Orange that's going to go pretty far.
Yeah, and especially with these staggers as well. I mean, they did lose the Winston JJ down, so they're going to have to be very, very careful. But despite that, they did get a really late pick onto Exel. So, I don't know, it's kind of 50-50 the way it's going to go here. There's a lovely Tracer 1v1 as well. Almost ZSB coming out on top there. Does get topped up. However, Captain looking to try and place that Torbjorn turret. Falls extremely low, though.
We see JJ Afro jumping up onto that high ground, manages to get the nano, but they just respond so perfectly. Fanclub making sure that JJ Afro does not get any value from that jump onto the high ground. And now out comes the Molten Core, just zoning out these remaining players of Blood Orange, and it does look like Fanclub are going to be able to come back and hold it.
Yeah, they will. They've still got 2.5 minutes remaining here, Blood Orange, but oh, that's a rough pick. CatnOwl playing so well of getting those sort of late staggers. And now CatnOwl sitting really nice and pretty with those double tank ults there. And then you've got ZSB with that pulse bomb. I mean, you can obviously do that classic pulse bomb with the grab combo. But, I mean, yeah, that's not going to help you, CatnOwl. That is not going to help.
Yeah, Riptide falling to that focusing beam from Swag. That's devastating. Self-destruct comes out, but Konoid doesn't manage to push it down off the high ground. It doesn't find any fix with it. The grab onto a nano JJ Afro. Has to pop Primal just to stay alive. Meanwhile, Exile's the one with the nano on the side of CatnOwl Fanclub. We did see a duplicate come through by Swag, but didn't get enough value as Exile and Riptide worked together to take it out. And Fanclub holding strong. CatnOwl Fanclub really making sure this point does not get capped so far.
That was a nice little anti-nade from Sports Kid, but I think we need to see that a little bit earlier into that fight there, because when you have someone like JJ jumping in, they need that help, especially onto somebody like the Tourbillon, who's just sitting really nice and safe behind Easy Clap Shield. Now we're going on to almost our last dive here, Apara, actually. It's 1 minute remaining. And we've got Vuvuzela with the only real ult for Blood Orange, whereas CatnOwl, they do have that primal range as well as the Molten Core.
The one thing I'm getting worried about is I'm seeing JJ Afro kind of just diving in alone quite a bit, and because of that, they're getting so much value and damage onto him. Now, KoalasEsports getting demeched from that Molten Core, and that just pure damage is going to mean that Exile finishes them off, and this push is slowly looking less and less likely to succeed as 30 seconds are left on the board.
I know, this is going to be very, very tough. It's basically going to be a rush from Azira to be able to, get a little bit of stall onto this cart here. Does have Pulse Bomb pretty much coming up for this last fight here, but you're right, JJ's going to have to work with their team as they dive in. Tourbillon falling about 1 HP there. But other than that, there's nothing really to fall back on. Sports Kid, though, does have that nano, but you've got to be really careful for this grab. Such good positioning. This grab, however, my goodness.
Oh, no one's touching at the moment. Pulse Bomb comes out by getting Sheeny, and Azera is now putting in the work, taking out Lucy Watch as well. Nano onto Bridge. Vuvuzela just putting in a whole lot of healing, trying to keep this team alive with the Nano, but ZSB is going to take them out. And now it's just Konoid and Azera trying to keep this fight alive as Tracer and ZSB on the side of CatnOwl is going to try to stop this point being pushed. Pulse Bomb takes out Konoid, and now Easy Clap pops the rally, manages to get a shield bash onto Azera, but Azera does stay alive, falling so low, however. Easy Clap taking out 2 now, and that is going to be held just before the doors of first point.
That was a really nice sleep onto JJ there. Did pop the primal, but wasn't able to touch in time. Apara, it's such a nail-biting series we've got right now. Like, yes, Blood Orange couldn't quite cap, but it's just so down to the line the whole time. CatnOwl, beautiful defense, though, the whole time. The rotations of ults, I mean, I could go, the positioning was beautiful from Riptide and from the rest of their team, just backing him up wherever he was onto that high ground, making sure they knew who they were diving, and more often than not, it was actually Azera or Vuvuzela that were having the hardest times there to stay alive. And it looks like about the same, although we do have Captain, who's now, instead of the Tourbillon, onto the Sombra, and we saw how devastating they can be if they can get on that, and if they can get on an EMP roll. Again, Konoid has his work cut out for him.
Yeah, Konoid might have to do some cardio to stay up and running here, and this is going to be a very intense defense for Blood Orange. They're gonna have to play it perfectly. They can't let any sort of team wipes happen, and they definitely can't let that payload push very far, because if they push it pretty much to the doorstep, it is gonna be CatnOwl's win for Watchpoint Gibraltar here, and we'll see how they push. They opt for the Symmetra tally over across the gap so that they're able to meet up on the bridge, meeting up with the tanks of Blood Orange.
I mean, it definitely cuts out the whole rotation process, but again, you don't really have much in the way of poke there where you can just poke out the Winston or something like that, so they're going to have to back up. That Zarya bubble onto Riptide, I don't think that was really needed, so they're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that beautiful anti-nade. That is what we want there.
Yeah.
And that takes out Riptide pretty much immediately as Azra was ready for that.
Yeah, they are. It does look like Fanclub, they're still going to try and keep pushing this payload as far as they can, but now with JJ and Koalas dropping onto the payload off that high ground, that is going to slow down the payload from being pushed back. However, Riptide is back now, and Azera's getting a lot of pressure. Has to pull back to the team, and a good anti-nade onto both tanks out from Lucy Watch is going to put a lot of pressure. ZSB falls to Azera, and now Blood Orange, they can get a bit more aggressive. They can jump onto Riptide. Even with the bubble, they can put in a lot of damage. Riptide having to just pull back. Pulse Bomb comes out, doesn't connect onto too much, and that is probably a push slowed down at least.
Yeah, Sports Kit's now coming up with the Nano. Hopefully JJ's probably hoping it goes on to them. Whereas on the other side, Lucy is probably going to Nano there. Winston Riptide's going to go straight. That's a huge pick, though. That's caps down. That's no more hacks. They no longer have to look behind them. And that's a lot of damage gone. Nano, however, gone onto JJ. Is going to be pushing so hard into this Ana, who's actually nanoed their own Winston.
Yeah, Riptide getting that nano as well keeps Ana alive. It's a little bit of good peel, but JJ just wants to push Lucy off the map, and that's exactly what they do. However, Lucy does finish off JJ at the same time, but because of that, this payload is sitting all alone with nobody pushing it.
Yeah, and JJ's okay. Like, he did feed about 1,000 HP, but at the same time, he'll get back with those jump packs. You've now, however, got Exel very, very cautious if you're Blood Orange here. Got that grab, especially with that EMP. You've got Pulse. You've got so many for CatnOwl. This is CatnOwl's game to win, unless Blood Orange can come out with a miracle. Like that.
No,
that grab was wasted.
That grab didn't go onto anything. Their EMP, however, that connects onto hopefully enough. If you're on the side of Fanclub, that is hopefully enough for them right there. Self-destruct, however, comes out by KOalas. It doesn't connect onto much. ZSB at Exile now taking names and finding those picks. Cardioid,
can we?
you actually,
Cardioid?
Yeah, I was actually about to say Cardioid. Well, you know what?
He needed to do more Cardioid, Apara. That's what he needed to do.
Fanclub Cardioid and took watch point Gibraltar.
Apara, what time is it? Cardioid time.
It's actually nearly midnight.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh,
so
what
far,
a beautiful
this has been a night to remember.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fanclub and Blood Orange, they're going back and forth in these wins right now. It really is anybody's game as we move into Assault.
Yeah, okay. Let's have a look at what the teams might be calling out here. They could be Hanamura. Probably not, unless they're really comfortable in the on like going to Reinhardt. We have seen a little bit of Sim, but that's more being out of spawn and nothing else. Volsky Industries could be a shout, honestly, because like when you're attacking, you can always hack away. Especially getting the tracer behind is a lot easier than it would be in Hanamura, and you can do it, you know, pretty much secretly if the other team isn't just ready for it.
Yeah, I think I agree in the thought of Volskaya is the way to go. I think, yeah, Volskaya is a really smart map choice for both teams, to be honest. They both like that dive style. But I think the thing Blood Orange do have to think about is that obviously CatnOwl Fanclub, they can take the dive style and bring it to them, especially when they've got that Sombra pick. It obviously puts a lot of pressure onto Blood Orange, so maybe they don't want to go to a map that they know might
favors dives heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Hanamura is probably their best shout, because that's where, I know they haven't really been playing much Sim, but that is where you can sort of run that dive. And that's survivable with the Baptiste immortality field against a lot of what CatnOwl can, you know, throw at them, especially when it's a fast fight, which would be what you'd want. CatnOwl, they also want a faster fight, but they also want the longer fights purely because, you know, the ultimates are so impactful, and they, you know, that one ult from either one of them can pretty much change the tide, whereas usually when it comes to Blood Orange, they need to, you know, duo it up a little bit more. So it'd be interesting to see how they're going to attack this Assault. Now,
some things to just point out. Going to Temple of Anubis.
Okay.
And also, we've had a sub-in for Blood Orange. Azera is swapping out for TXCXX.
Now entering the temple.
Quite the mouthful.
Yes.
I'm gonna TX. You're TX.
Yeah,
Congratulations, you've been knighted to TX. Demoted to you've been promoted to customer. That's what happens when you get fired.
Exactly right. It's a good promotion in my opinion.
Retail lol. Oh, yeah. Shout out to all my homies out there doing retail right now.
So, why do you think they've decided Temple of Anubis, and why do you think they've called for the sub-in?
Maybe Tracer Specialist, perhaps TXC, XX. If I pull up their sheet, which I probably should have done when I immediately saw that they were going to do this, but I didn't. Maybe like more of a Tracer Specialist, or perhaps a little fresh face might bring the team, the boost it might need. Perhaps like really good at strategizing a dive. I mean, we see now JJ Conioid with a difference with Swag and Vuvuzela will be just poking away on that Farah. However, they will have to contend with a Pharmacy from CatnOwl and also Captain onto Sombra, who's been a really good pick for them so far.
Yeah, the Sombra pick by Captain Sheeny has been pretty devastating, especially to the tanks here, and we're probably going to see it keep happening as Captain Sheeny is getting up close and personal with Swag on the Farad. Captain Sheeny really wanting to put pressure onto the Pharmacy, but finds the hack onto Konoid early, and Konoid just having to fall back here. But rockets raining from the sky right now by Swag. Now we're seeing a little bit of a Pharmacy battle between ZSB and Swag, but not much value happening right now, as this is just a slow push, a slow fight. Someone just trying to find the first point to open up. Overclock getting harassed a bit, falling quite low, but doesn't get the value and manages to get a nano onto Riptide. Riptide getting really deep onto the tanks. Konoid falling back and nearly about to be demixed, but we do see Riptide having to return to the team. Now TXCX does manage to find Riptide, and the res onto Swag could open up a little bit of value for Blood Orange as they start getting up close and personal. Nano onto JJ Afro, but with Overclock taking out TXCX, there might be value, but no, I think this is going to go the way of Blood Orange.
No, this has Blood Orange written all over. I just want to point out, I did a little bit of research. So TX, I'm told, is a flex god. So perhaps has a wider hero pool. We don't know. And then finally, his favorite hero is Hanzo. So we haven't seen it as of yet, but perhaps if we do get to the control, we might see a little bit more of that poke. However, doing a great job so far into the Tracer. Almost got that pulse bomb. Swag as well. Value DPS. 6-man EMP, never mind that. What am I talking about? ZSB. That's 1. That's 2. That's still 2.
That is just a beautiful EMP rocket barrage combo. ZSB knowing exactly when to follow up. Probably getting that call out that the EMP is going to come through, and that sends them all right back to spawn.
Yeah, especially after Vuvuzela popped the Valkyrie. I mean, yes, it's not the most impactful support ult, no, far from it, but, it's still a support ult to be missed, although they've got both DPS ults and both tank ults now. On the other side, though, CatnOwl, they have both support ults, so it's not the opposite way around. They will be pushing so far, getting Sports Kid down. That's massive amount of healing gone.
Yeah, Riptide getting the nano, managing to find Konoid as well, but the self-destruct takes Riptide out. Poor old Riptide. Yeah, Riptide decided, I'm just not surviving this one, but gets rezzed. And because of that, Sports Kid might fall again. Has built up the nano, but Riptide's just running right over top of Sports Kid. However, meanwhile on point, JJ Afro's putting in a lot of work. Pops the primal just to keep this fight going on point here. Rocket Barrage comes out by Swag. She doesn't manage to get any kills, unfortunately, but Vuvuzela is going to help. Bringing a bit of damage meanwhile onto Swag to finish off Overclock now. Captain Sheeny does take out TXCX, and Riptide is going to take out Vuvuzela, and we're probably going to see a hold here with 1 tick given up.
We're going to have to reset here on Trample of Draw Anubis as the clock ticks down a little bit further. They did get a tick though, like you pointed out, Apara, and that's quite big. At least you've got something on the board here. CatnOwl, they will be coming out with a barrage now, so they're gonna have to be really careful for Blood Orange poking away. Sports Kid, if they can stay alive, it's been very hard when Riptide's on top of you all the time. Possibly get that nano onto JJ and really force Captain's like 1 HP, just gets kicked a little bit too far, but no, able to stabilize. Vuvuzela as well has support of their own. They will be pushing with that nano. Winston.
Oh yeah, Winston going deep with the nano, but gets slipped by Overclock. Overclock making sure that Winston just takes a little bit of a nap here. JJ gets stunned by Captain Sheeny now on the McCree pick, and because of that, JJ does fall. Rez comes through, bringing them back, and actually they just get the free cap. Nobody was touching because there was a little bit of distraction. Yeah, 100%. They were distracted off point, 100%.
Distracted by my devious looks and my cardioid poses. True. Goodness. Anyway, that was, I mean, that caught me off guard. I think that caught everybody off guard. None more than the defenders, I'm sure. But 2 minutes and 50 seconds is very comfortable for Temple of Anubis. Like, you are so happy with that time bank. Now it's up to CatnOwl. You got to make that attack, and you got to make it count, especially after the accidental C9 onto the point there. I mean, we might see what they've played on Gibraltar with Captain playing on the Sombra, like he is. ZSB, however, will be playing onto the Echo instead of the Farah. Easy Clap will still stick to the Mercy and probably just pocket ZSB as they try and get as much value as possible. Swag will be taking the Hanzo pick off TXCXX, who would rather play the Ashe. Now, why? I don't mind this. Like, I see why you take a Brig with Vuvu, but why would you not take a Mercy with the Ashe and the Hanzo just to get, you know, that damage boost onto the Ashe, like a headshot? Obviously doesn't immediately take them out of the fight like it used to when Ashe first came out, but just leaves them on like 5 HP, whereas now it's kind of up to TXC XX. I mean, Flex God, as we know them so far, you know, to try and get a double pick.
Yeah, I think it's going to just have to come down to they're going to have to play well. They're going to have to make those perfect shots. And with this double sniper, it might be possible. And Dynamite is a lot of harassment damage as well, as we saw Riptide falling really low due to the Dynamite. So we might be seeing a lot of Dynamite value coming out. We saw TX actually try to throw a Dynamite at Captain Sheeny, but Captain Sheeny did manage to get away. Swag and TX just turn around at Captain Sheeny immediately, taking them out of the fight. And that's going to be devastating here, as this is looking like a fairly solid defense so far. Yeah, they're just building up this Nano here. Para, ZSB is just going in as well. Beautifully coordinated. Swag was just left out in the open, instantly obliterated. Yeah, those sticky mines just remove Swag from the game, and because of that, now Riptide's going to try get up, but Coach Gun to the face says, get out of my game, Riptide. Demic onto exile thanks to the help of an amplification matrix, and because of that, it's looking pretty good for Blood Orange. Once again on this defense, ZSB trying to put in some work, gets Storm Arrow down by Swag on the high ground. Captain Sheeny does find Sports Kid though, but that is probably going to be a first hold by Blood Orange. If they can get this Ana as well of Overclock, this will set them back so far. The problem is then, Konioid did have to go back, so I think Ana is safe for now. So CatnOwl, they're very happy at the moment. Overclock has the Nano as well as ZSB. And if we can get that Demon like we just have right now, we might get some bomb action. Yeah, we got that duplicated Diva. Doesn't really manage to get anything in the the duplicate just destroyed by TX. Focusing Beam does take down JJ Afro, however, but Vuvuzela has popped the rally to make sure this fight is still going to look good for Blood Orange. The whip shot taking out Exile, res onto Captain Sheeny, and that could be not so good, as we might see a couple of stagger kills come through up on the high ground. We do see Captain Sheeny fall to Swag Storm Arrows. Yeah, now with one, and I'm sure Mercy will probably fall as well, at least at the last second there. So when they touch point, it'll be about 1 minute, 10 seconds remaining. So this is final fight. Captain as well, last second switch off to the Genji. Can he build a blade in 1 minute and 20 seconds? I reckon he's up to the task. Riptide does have the Primal Rage, however, so they will be able to bat away a lot of this poke, perhaps. The problem, again, with poke and dive is that once Winston comes upon you, getting poked and poked and poked, especially with a Brig and Bat that you're diving onto, it's very, very hard. Swag does have those dragons again. Here comes the Nano immediately onto Swag. Oh my goodness. Swag just burnt through. ZSB getting the focusing beam down on Vuvuzela, and this is the push that CatnOwl Fanclub have been looking for. They just managed to remove all the players of Blood Orange, and finally they're gonna get that cap. Okay, this is a bit bold of me to say, but I'd say that JJ kind of needs to switch off this Orisa. I love the Orisa first point, but second point when it's even ground and Winston has a lot of points to sort of dive off from,
it's a lot harder to space unless, of course, you've got enough poke, which I think they have, unless the rotations from CatnOwl, like we've seen before, are as brilliant as they have been. Riptide still holding on to the Primal. Exel, of course, will be coming up with the bomb. And here it comes. I don't think this might get him, but it does.
Oh! It takes out TX. That's going to be really devastating right now for Blood Orange. However, the Dragons does find Captain Sheeny and Riptide. Wow, Dragons from Spawn getting quite a bit of value. One tick may come through, but this is going to look good. It's a good opportunity for Blood Orange to come back and just hold this point as Swag takes out ZSB, and they've gotten a better time bank officially.
I'm going to ring the bell of ult combos coming up here. Captain and Overclock will be having that Nano Dragon Blade, and they don't really have anything to combat that Blood Orange Apara. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe Conioid will go on with the bomb, perhaps. Just like, come no closer as you explode. But Overclock, I can't go past that. My goodness, that's going to res, but Swag able to take out easy time. Do you still push in?
Swag is a monster on this hard zone, storm arrowing them down. There are so many arrows flying out of this bow right now that CatnOwl Fanclub don't even know what to do.
No, they don't. They're kind of sitting with their hands in their pockets, like,
Yeah.
how do we do it? But look, CatnOwl, they've pretty much every ult now. That's an interesting nano though, onto Riptide instead of Captain, who's now going to go with the blade here. Beautiful.
There it is.
Ooh.
Eating up the Dragons as well, but Konoid's bomb does manage to take out two here. JJ Afro is going to try and help Vuvuzela to finish off Exile. Riptide as well in this backline of Spawn, but realistically, once again, another hold, and they committed Nano and Blade, but not together.
No, I don't know why. I'm kind of left a little speechless of that. I guess they had a plan like Riptide would tickle them down enough so that Captain would only have to like swing once, or at the most once, and then before dashing onto the next target. But I think something we have to point out here is how good that I think it was from. It must have been from Vuvuzela with the whip shot. Just bonked Riptide all the way back. So no value, especially when you don't have the jump pack. Here comes another diva onto the field.
Yeah, we got a lot of divas going on right now. It's a duplicated diva from ZSB's coming through, but TX is going to dead-eye Captain Sheeny, and that's going to make it a bit harder for this attack once more. Self-destruct. The duplicated self-destruct doesn't really connect onto much, but the stun from TX taking out Exile, and this is really showing why they brought TX in. TX just swapping onto whatever pick is necessary to win them the fight. Riptide now falling, and this is 20 seconds left for CatnOwl to try and get that full cap.
Yeah, I mean, we look top left, ladies and gentlemen. What else do they have? They have Nano, I suppose. Maybe go into Riptide again, but unfortunately Riptide hasn't been able to get much value. But then you look on the other side of Blood Orange, you've got that amplification matrix, which you just pop right now, surely. Anyway, Swag, yeah, look at that, another boot. This is going to make it even harder.
And Exile stuck in the Dragons, getting pulled in as well. The self-destruct takes out Exile. Riptide does find Vuvuzela, but Riptide falls to Konoid, and that is going to be really hard for CatnOwl Fanclub to find any sort of value now. A good anti-nade, but that's not going to be enough, and that's going to be all she wrote as Blood Orange once again draw up our series 2-2.
2. Fifth map. Oh, Apara, we never change. All 10.
Yeah.
All 10. Even when it looks like a roll, it's like, no, we're not done.
Yeah. We will make you watch every single map of ours, Apara and Pat. That's what the team thinks.
We're not done. You keep casting. You stay in your little casting den.
Is this a conspiracy against us?
We should do an investigation, honestly.
AOEsports teams just trying to make us cast 5-game matches.
Casting, match fixing. All right, so Apara and Pat will be casting this week. We're gonna. I
believe it. I believe it.
I was a doubter, now I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
We're moving into map 5, Pat. We're moving into Oasis. They've already decided we don't even need to discuss it, which is kind of nice. and we are going. I think we just jumped straight into it. There's not much we need to talk about. These teams have been so back and forth right now. Of course, we saw on our first control point, CatnOwl, they did manage to take that first point. So I'll be really interested to see what it looks like.
Yeah, Blood Oasis. So University would University Blood Orange might be looking a little bit better in that case, especially because it's a little bit more flatter ground. You can kind of work the Orisa there. It's a little bit harder. Whereas when you get to the more divey maps, that's really where these guys have to. How would you play it? You'd have Captain probably onto the Sombra again, so Blood Orange is going to have to be extremely careful, especially when trying to dive, not to leave your backline. Never mind, we're going to have a little bit of a switch. After all of that, Nepal, I 100% agree with this if you're Blood Orange here, especially with Sanctum. You can poke on Sanctum, and we've seen how good TXCXX and Swag can be, especially when working with JJ. On the other side, however, Captain, oh my god, CatnOwl, can't read. They'll probably be diving, but maybe you might see that double bubble that we saw again. I mean, I'm taking Sanctum quite as a map right now, but if we go to something like Village or even Shrine, I don't know, that's quite brawly, Shrine and Village, but it's not to say that you can't dive on it.
We might even see some Symmetra picks coming out. I mean, Shrine is pretty well known for setting up a wee bit of a Symmetra stronghold. So, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Maybe even, like, May is good on every map here except Sanctum as well. So we could see that May McCree or May Reaper strat that we saw before. I think CatnOwl, they pulled out the Reaper May, and that was no, it wasn't CatnOwl, it was Blood Orange, excuse me, and that was really hard for someone like Riptide to dive into that sort of comp. And then you've got Sports Kid as well on that Baptiste. On the other side, however, CatnOwl, they might be playing again that sort of ball dive, but instead they will be playing exactly the comp I was actually talking about. How funny. They will be going on to that Reaper pick with a little bit more of that brawly style. On the other side, however, like you suggested, they actually will be taking the Sim, but I am willing to bet it's just out of spawn then going back to the Tracer pick, or maybe even the McCree. I doubt the McCree, probably more the Tracer getting into that backline and harassing someone like Lucy Watch. Swag and Vuvu, they will be in the skies raining rockets on top of ZSB, which would make his job a lot harder encountering JJ and all of his shenanigans I'm sure he's got in his back pocket. Oh my goodness, what is that? Immediately Apara.
Pure aggression coming out from the tank line of CatnOwl Fanclub, and wow, every player from Blood Orange is just feeling that right there. TX finished up by Exile, and this Pharmacy just watching all their friends collapse. Was just fly around.
I think JJ dived in and then realized, oh, hang on a second, the entire team is there. And then just, you can't exactly just jump back immediately, and just had to slowly walk there. And because of that, it's just an instant obliteration. They will be going main this time, which I do agree with, as they will be trying to poke out. If you're Swag Knee, go first pick onto Easy Clap.
But Konoid did get hacked and managed to get demicked, but the back cap actually did happen for Blood Orange. They got the free cap, and now Exile Riptide are being taken out. This is actually looking like, you know what, Blood Orange win it. Captain Sheedy tried to get the back cap as well, but no, not going to manage to.
Not going to manage to. Yeah, no, you'd be disappointed if you're CatnOwl. You only got 22%. They gave that up a little bit easily, but Lucy Watch will have their ult, to push in with, and it's so devastating to somebody like Vuvu, who's just trying to stay in the air, getting absolutely demolished by Coalescence. Here comes
Nano Barrage only onto Lucy. The Coalescence getting just removed from the game right now. That's what I call patch notes right there. Rocket Barrage removes Coalescence.
No, indeed. ZSB, though, will be coming back with that Death Blossom, and you've got the EMP. Death Blossom, perhaps EMP Bomb. I always like that combo, but unfortunately, because of the way that Blood Orange's comp works, it might not be as effective as it would be towards a brawl. Here it comes for people though.
Oh, Death Blossom EMP combo, really good. Demecking Konoid and taking out 2. Konoid now taking out CSP, really happy with that combo. It's just Swag stuck on a roof, can't fly very high inside of the shrine.
No, now it's ticking up though, and you've got Riptide and Exor with their ultimates to defend. Easy Clap as well. Actually didn't have to beat, which is huge. On the other side, however, almost every ult except the supports will be locked and loaded for Blood Orange. How will they utilize it? Perhaps the high noon just to push the players off the high ground, or at least into a worse position as you have Swag. She'll be raining those rockets down from above. Below. Anyway, you get it.
Down from above. Let's
down
go.
From above. Yeah, that was right.
Out comes the rocket barrage. There it is. Taking out Easy Clap. Self-destruct didn't connect onto too much. And Vuvuzela, she manages to res TX and all of that. But Riptide takes out Vuvuzela. Swag does finish off Riptide. And this fight is going so back and forth. Coalescence now coming through by Lucy Watch to try and keep the team alive. But also takes out TX. And still, this fight is going so back and forth. Healing Orb comes through to just keep this fight on point live for CatnOwl Fanclub, and Blood Orange are actually opting to play it a little bit safe, not take too much damage and get Sports Kids in for the fight. Nano now comes onto JJ Afro, but Easy Clap has taken out Swag, and because of that, it's going to look really hard for Blood Orange. There goes Sports Kid. Vuvuzela does have Valkyrie and pops it to keep this fight going, but 92% now. Self-destruct just into a wall, not going to connect onto much, but TX is going to be the one that's connecting. ZSP does take out Riptide, however, and the res onto JJ Afro means that that kill meant nothing. TX just zoning people off with the Deadeye, and the cap does come through at 99%.
So they cannot lose this here, Blood Orange. They have to hold on. And will they be able to, with only a barrage really, and the monkey ult, I want to say. But no, it is Primal. However, on the other side, CatnOwl, they will have the EMP. They will have the Death Blossom. We saw how big that was last fight. And of course, they have a Primal of their own. Unless Swag can come up really big here. Never mind, unless TX can just click heads, apparently. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. TX just finding caps and trying to go for the back cap, and because of that, there is a Death Blossom on point, but once again, TX just showing us why they came in here. Easy Clap does get the punch and a self-destruct by Exile, takes out 2 on the point! That's gonna give it room for CatnOwl to get the flip. Because of that, Swag falls, and now it is just Konoid, the only lone player for Blood Orange. They get taken out, the flip comes through, and is anyone able to get a touch? That is going to be first round of Nepal going to CatnOwl Fanclub.
Oh, that was a beautiful bomb. I think without that, it was a fight. I mean, the fight would have gone on for a lot longer, and it could have gone either way, especially with Azra just being able to, oh sorry, not Azra, not even in the game, Swag being able to pump in those rockets, but then losing Mercy there, the damage boost, of course the healing that comes with the Mercy, there's not really much you can do without that. Now we're moving on to Shrine, and this, you can definitely play Pharah on this, but it seems like they're not going to. Instead, Swag and TX, they will be going to the Torbjorn Reaper. ZSB probably just tallying out then going Tracer, I would assume, but you can definitely run the Symmetra, which they seem to be doing, because it's very annoying to be able to push into so many turrets.
Yeah, I think they just want to be able to confirm this point and make sure that they take it to O. That's all that CatnOwl are focusing on right now. They want to win this dominantly, and I think that's why the Symmetra has come out. That beam can build up so quickly. But Riptide falling to Swag is going to make it really hard now for CatnOwl. JJ Afro does find Easy Clap as well. There is a D-Mech onto Konoid, but I don't think it's going to be much when Exile also gets D-Mech by Vuvuzela, and that is just going to be the remaining players of Blood Orange walking right over top of CatnOwl Fanclub.
That was truly unexpected. You know, you have ZSB setting up, already got ult, so clearly was just burning away at everybody, but then nobody expected really how much Konoid did. I mean, already has... oh, sorry, actually that was incorrect. Swag already really close to Death Blossom, and now Swag just been able to press W with JJ.
JJ jumping onto Captain Sheeny. Riptide does take out Konoid, but I think we're starting to see the Sombra potentially not be getting as much value as they were wanting.
I mean, TX has they have a Sombra. They're playing the Sombra too, so it's kind of like it's the defensive Sombra versus the attacking Sombra. Captain, how they do have the EMP. What can they really combo it with? Especially with a couple of switches. Lucy is now, doesn't have the coalescence anymore. Unless you can get like a big bomb quite quickly, this EMP isn't really going to do much. Here it comes, only really getting onto one person.
Yeah, the EMP didn't connect onto a lot, but they are going to try and build value out of it as they take out Konoid here. Captain Sheeny trying to put him with easy clap, takes out Swag, but TX and JJ Afro are finding picks of their own for Blood Orange. Due to that, TX is just going to put in a lot of work and once again confirm that Blood Orange is going to hold this point at 70%.
And yes, 70%, and this is pretty much final fight territory, and TX has EMP, and this time they have something to play it alongside with, and that is a bomb or a Death Blossom, depending on how you really want to play it. Maybe just allow them into that fight. Never mind that. What am I even talking about? That's Death Blossom immediately into their team.
EMP Death Blossom with the nano. They don't even want to give them the chance to touch.
Fair enough,
this is
honestly.
95%, and that is going to even us up 1-1. Lucy's going to try to touch, but can't manage.
Every map.
Pyro Pap cast if we don't go the long haul.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, is it like 1 a.m. your? No, it's not 1 a.m. your time. Not quite yet.
It's 12:18 a.m. I have work at 8:30 in the morning.
You're welcome.
Let's go. Let's go.
Smack lips. Is it perchance retail?
Fortunately not.
No. Oh gosh.
Boy, but we're leaving it all up to Sanctum, and you talked about Sanctum.
Yeah.
You wanted to see this map, and they decided they're going to show it to you.
They're like, okay, Pap, that's all good. We got you, fam. And show they will. In fact, I talked a lot about Sanctum and that they can play poke, and they will. I'm actually really glad if you're Blood Orange of playing this comp. The thing you do have to worry about, though, is the faster, more aggressive comp of CatnOwl. So if you allow them on top of you, you're really dead here. And that you can see that they're backing out pretty much instantly.
Yeah, JJ's shield got immediately destroyed, and JJ wasn't able to play around that without a shield. JJ, however, is now getting aggro, and with TX and Swag getting those picks. Lucy and Riptide out of the fight. That's healing and a lot of tankage, but Easy Club getting the boop onto Konoid as well. This could even it up as Exile takes out Swag, and now JJ Effort's alone with 3 people jumping around them. Vuvuzela battle mercying with joined by Swag, and they do actually get the cap as TX gets just a double kill.
My goodness. I mean, I think you just have to back out here if you're CatnOwl, especially with such a late stagger. That is brutal for Exile there. Captain, however, was able to get EMP almost built up, however, and you've got a couple. I mean, Sportskid has been doing a lot of healing. Arissa now will be poking from the point, whereas the rest of the team basically on the bridge, which is just how you want to play this comp. If you're CatnOwl, you need to rotate around and just get on top of them with your Reaper, with the defense matrix in their face. Of course, though, you've got Captain in the back getting ready to do the hacks, and you can see so much ring around the rosy.
Yeah, this is absolutely ring around the rosy, and now Bob has come to try and stop it. No pocket full of posies right now as Riptide gets taken out, but another boop onto Konoid. Easy Clap has Konoid's number, knows how to boop the Sigma, and I hope next time they try to boop, they pop the Sigma ult just to flex on them. It would be great to see
this time.
Yeah, exactly right. But it's looking like ZSP might be able to bring the fight back, but for res from Vuvuzela, she manages to bring Swag back, and Swag does have the dragons on point. However, if needed, there it is, right into the ground. Exile gets taken out, and ZSP and Captain Sheeny fall as well. Sound barrier comes through, and Riptide taking out Swag means that Konoid is going to get chased down by Lucy and Riptide, and that point is going to start flipping over. Just Sports Kid getting up close, trying to just get that point percentage up as high as possible. Now Vuvuzela as well pops the Valkyrie. They really want to play the stall, and it's working out now that JJ's back. Swag is TX is there too. Vuvu does fall. CSB has to pop the Death Blossom. You know what? I think that was good value for Blood Orange.
100%. I would have commented for days about how good that was. Not, it went from about 70% to final fight 93, which is perfect. You mentioned previously Konioid does now have that flux, so is safe from the boots, at least for this round. TX popping off as well, almost got the bob. On the other side, was that bomb accidental? Was that an accidental Q? Who knows? Riptide also has the primal rage. Here comes the flux. Does pick up two. Lucy Watch immediately falls.
Yeah, Lucy Watch taken out during the flux. Konoid just trying to fight ZSB here, but that Reaper is so much pressure. You can see Easy Clap just looking to try to put them off the map. Kono feeling so low. Dragons come out. Doesn't connect onto too much, unfortunately. And Bob now coming through onto point. TX and Bob fighting on point, trying to get the back cap. And because of Bob being there, that pressure's going to make it really hard. Flip just doesn't come through, but Vuvuzella's now going to help Bob in the fight. ZSB, however, just gets the punch onto Vuvuzela, but they do get the cap, the boop onto JJ Afro. It's Exile and Easy Clap, all that's left. And with Konoid and Swag trying to fight it out, the cap does go back, but they got 99%.
Yeah, I think you gotta wait. Ooh, okay, Swag. Maybe don't wait, actually, because I was about to say Exile would just get mech back pretty fast, but now that they have to come back all the way from spawn here, Captain, though, does have EMP. That's pretty much their savior. They are 10% away. Swag taking out Riptide. Konioid falling off again.
Once again, this
time. Start counter and
Riptide.
My
Poor
goodness.
Konoid really getting bullied by the hole in the map right now. People throwing them in. Dragons come out. Sound Barrier is forced to get everyone out of the point there. And a supercharger coming out by JJ Afro as well. A lot of damage, but EMP comes through. That connects on to so many of the team of Blood Orange. Their Blood Orange really struggling. Swag, however, taking out two now. They get the flip over once more. Is this the flip that confirms the win for them? As Easy Clap is looking for another boot, doesn't manage to get it. Exile gets taken out by Swag. Storm Arrow. Swag, she puts in the work. She takes the names, and now it's just Captain Sheeny. All that is left. Trying so desperately, but no. Blood Orange, they put in a strong fight, and they managed to take the series.
Oh my gosh, all the way down the line. Oh, GG's Blood Orange. Incredible gameplay from both sides there. CatnOwl, wonderful. I love the compositions that they ran. Very good communication throughout. Being able to, that's like if there was tiers of their, oh, beautiful, by the way. I mean, this goes without saying. Nano, EMP, and then the Death Blossom. It's curtains right there. But what I want to say is my train of thought is actually completely obliterated.
It has left the station.
It has left the station. Gone. As well as the victory for Blood Orange. I will try and save my incredible segue. I was on some sort of a roller. I do me a swears.
We got two incredible games is what we have to talk about, Pap. You know what? All four teams that we've had today, No Snakes Given, SEMANTICS, CatnOwl Fanclub, and Blood Orange, they all put on an incredible show. I think for that matchup, I feel like we really do have to give a lot of the credit. My MVP at least is going to Swag. I feel like Swag played a phenomenal game throughout the whole series. I think Swag put in a lot of work, and personally, they're my MVP.
Yeah, I know it's a lot. This player did a lot in the background that I noticed throughout, and obviously I can't speak about absolutely everything, but I just have to point out Cardioid. No, I'm joking. Konioid. You always had everybody's back, no matter what comp that they were in, whether it was with the Sigma or was on the Diva, always with the supports backing them up, always eating so many countless objects, bullets and arrows that were coming their way. So I just got to give a credit to them. Yes, their bombs weren't, massive 6Ks, but everything adds up, and that to an incredible team of Blood Orange. CatnOwl Fanclub, they take the first map. Blood Orange take the second map. CatnOwl Fanclub take the third map, and then Blood Orange do take the rest. And just to reiterate, for game one, we had I wish I was faster at this. Oh, it's deleted.
We had No
deleted?
Snakes Given
Yep,
versus Semantics there.
Reverse
inc-
sweep.
Yeah, the reverse sweep by No Snakes Given. Just really incredible games, both sides. I think nobody should be upset about their
No.
performance today because every team did incredibly well.
Every team I loved watching. Everybody put their absolute all into. Clearly, I mean, all 10 maps. Clearly,
Yeah.
went right down to the line every single time. We pretty much saw every single map as well. But we thank you, everybody, so much for joining. We have so many people to thank. There are a lot of people behind the scenes that make this stuff possible. You've got the event producers of AOEsports, Bloodborne, Gat, and myself. You've got Koala Esports of, I think there's a guy called Sdogga Man. I don't know. I don't really know if he does really all that much. And then there's Bees, of course, always the right hand of Sdogga helping out the stream should it go anywhere but downhill, uphill. Oh my gosh. Event coordinators of myself and Sdogga, we are the ones. I am the one annoyingly messaging everybody on Mudmail, so I can say it to everybody now. Thank you all so much. I got a streamer man who's been behind the camera, would be Sdogga Man, and your casters for tonight were
Not Stranger X Sneaky.
it was not Stranger X Sneaky. No, we apologize for that. I don't think. No, I'm joking. No, it was not. It was Apara and Papadaka coming at you. And goodness, we have so many assistants as well. Temporalic and Gat and Sdogga Man. Man, this guy is like, okay, where else can I insert my name?
Yeah.
Special thanks to, oh look, Sdogga Man again. No, I'm joking. To AOE, Gat, me. Okay, maybe I have to make fun of myself now. Just put myself in everything. All of the players, of course, incredible matchups, Apara, we had tonight, all the way down to the line, the entire AOE and KE community, and of course, massive, humongous shout out to the patrons. I mean, without you, this whole thing could not be possible. So thank you all so much for joining. Anything last you want to say, Para?
Yeah, no, I think you covered it all. It's been an amazing night. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, without your guys' support, both the viewers and especially the Patreons, we couldn't be having something incredible, this giant tournament happening. So thank you all so very much. And yeah, come back next week.
Final words. It's been a night to remember. Don't forget to dance and stay hydrated. See ya.
Bye.